I am sure sports. You know me there. I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know the game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick-Nick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick-Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Good morning, Reggae Boys fans. Here in Jamaica and around the world. I wonder if it's the boop in our head that we just get that has confused Manning's man with that title. It's Kyle, it's Katarock, it's Kronke. It's called the 3 Ks, not the KKK.
The 3 Kings.
The 3 Kings. 3 Kings. But King Kyle, we got boop in our head. Do you know that song by Ding Dong? Have you?
Nah.
It's in the top 10. Been there for like last year. Boop in them head. Well, we are fans, remain fans regardless. Jamaica 1, Jordan 2. That's the 84th ranked team in the world. 2. One can only say that we are disappointed in the results, and we will be breaking down the game post-analysis. And towards the end, we'll be looking at our realistic chances. At about 2 p.m. Jamaica time, I'll be departing to take part in the press conference as an accredited member of the media. And so I would expect from the persons handling the press to see on my phone a Zoom link. I don't want a Zoom link from no man. I want a Zoom link to come through the correct channels as an accredited member of the press. I played in Malvern, St. Elizabeth last night. And boy, when the money writing about the promoter, boy, they made me a big box full of cabbage and scallion and thyme and watermelon, cantaloupe. The bread basket. So they asked them, say, if a fruits, they might pay me now. So fruits pull up. But here what no. We don't want a fruits pull up what I show you. I don't know if it's sorted out as yet, but please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And Otherwise, like and share the live. Where the kings of football, of Jamaican football, we are going to be discussing our team that we share and love. So let me give Kyle the opening salvo. Take it away, my brother.
Well, I'm speechless, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm speechless. You know, I would be lying if I said I was worried after the Qatar game. I'm more worried. You know, I mean, I don't know, man. I really don't know. There is a lot of stuff that needs to be put on the table if we need to be honest with ourselves as per preparation, as per what we see in terms of tactics, formation, team chemistry. You know, a lot of questions need to be answered. We need a root cause and analysis as to where we are and where we are going because it doesn't look good. It does not look good.
Okay, so let's have your honest assessment of the game to begin with. And the man them checking in Duckland Stennett. King Jules asked, where is the Burger King? He's busy counting his millions. We are counting our shillings. You have any view on the new plastic money? We have new money in Jamaica, Kyle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, new plastic money coming like the Canadian money. Yeah, but they didn't tell the banks, so nobody could get any money out of the ATMs this morning.
Some like the GFF running the country.
Michael Woodburn check-in, Ray Davis check-in, says no Ravel, it's a sign. King Judas, any other king of Burger King? Watch that burger something there, brother. Because there is King Charles. He run the world. Owen and the double name man crew. Lulu. I can't remember which other double name man I'm forgetting. And good morning to all. You know what I mean? Tricknick Jerk Sauce, Prestige Finance, and Launch Legacy, our sponsors. We have to remember them. So give us your overall take on the game. And then I will share mine. Big up Dre anywhere though. Boss that.
Overall take is that, well, first of all, let me say, big up to the people in the comment section, all of the viewers. Press the like button. I've said this a million times, but to me, this is a thinking man, thinking woman's channel when it comes to football. Yeah, I mean, the game started, to me, it started good. I saw them pressing, they look compact. I could see a pattern of play. We got the goal basically from a penalty. And then after that, I don't know, man. It's like everything just opened up. People were walking in. Like I said, about, and you know what? I don't like to really dissect the game and, point at a player, and then, ostracize him. I don't like doing that. But, overall, we were just wide open in the back. It's like there was no chemistry. Nobody was covering for nobody. And a certain player wasn't tracking back, a defender wasn't tracking back, just open it up for everybody. What people must realize, if one defender isn't tracking back, that's basically opening up your back line because the Jordanians were basically coming in numbers. They could basically pick their pass, which is what they did, and scored on us. I mentioned it, I believe it was yesterday, about Mariappa. I believe he's too slow for this. And he needs cover, and that was shown in this game. That was shown. So, as for our forward, I mean, Boza had his chances, didn't finish them. When you don't finish your chances, you will pay, and we paid dearly. As he missed them, they scored. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack.
A lot. Coming like a barrel we come from foreign. Whole heap of things in there. And a lot of old brock in the barrel. You know? So here we go. My overall take. At the last game, the coach said, bad performance, bad results. For me, this was better performance, better result. Because Jordan is the 84th ranked country in FIFA. And what troubles me is that we not seem to have learned our lessons from the Qatar game. What came to mind, I joined the game at about the 3rd minute. What came to mind, because really, trust me, I was mashed up. Imagine dance done 2 o'clock in a St. Elizabeth pull down song coming. I think I reached town like, I caught up even at a little early school traffic there. So like about 6 a.m. I reached. And I just really tried to put my head down for 5 minutes and I drift off to sleep, and I just jump up, and when I look at the time, it was 3 minutes past 7. But praises be to God, because a lot of people didn't wake up this morning like we do. Rest in peace to anyone who has lost a loved one over the weekend. But I was looking to see whether the team had learned lessons from the Qatar game and implemented them. So what I started to wonder was things come to mind. Knife through butter. I don't know if you're familiar with that saying. It's a British saying, right? Cutting through you like knife through butter. There was no resistance. The thing looked shambolic. And then I tried to get the starting lineup, and then it began to puzzle me. We are trying to put square pegs in some places in round holes, and there were some questions left to be asked. But it's a shambolic performance against a lower ranked opposition, and I'm making no excuses. But I'm an ultra, and I will always support my team. I'm going Saturday, being in Chicago. I begin my journey on Thursday. I play at a dance in Brooklyn, the border of Brooklyn and New York, Thursday night, and then I'm off on Friday on the red eye to Chicago. That's how we do it. And I will see Kyle there. And I'm not sure if we will see the third king. Are you trying to be like me, Kronke? I've not shaved my hair, but I noticed you take it out. Will you be in Chi-Town?
At the border of Brooklyn and New York?
And Manhattan.
Brooklyn and Manhattan. That's downtown Brooklyn.
Downtown Brooklyn. Fulton Street.
Okay.
Yeah. Mine,
Yeah, man.
No, Fulton is good street nowadays. Fulton is good street nowadays.
It's rough down there.
No, it's not rough. No, downtown Brooklyn is not rough anymore.
Downtown Brooklyn change. So be careful that you go down here and you say certain sweet man. Believe me, I'll tell you that.
Lord of mercy.
Let's stick to the football.
I'm running in the other direction.
So I have to be wary of where you playing that night.
Downtown Brooklyn is fine. It's re-gentrified. It's a good move.
It is.
It's like being in Manhattan, frankly.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, football. We're talking football. We're talking Brooklyn.
Yes. So I'm getting. First of all, I want to get an answer. Will you be in Chicago? I know you don't normally sit with the ultras. You sit in the most expensive seats, having your shrimp cocktails and lobster bites. Kronke.
Oh,
you know
Kronke.
No, I had the game mixed up actually. I thought the game was going to be on Sunday, so I had to work Monday, so I didn't schedule to come. And I thought about it subsequently and decided, you know what? I'm perturbed. I'm going to pass. If they're playing in one location, I would spend my entire vacation going to one location. The fact that they're moving around, I'm not happy. So I'm boycotting.
All right. So what's your take on the game, Kronke?
Look, as I said yesterday, the game is a non-factor. It didn't really mean anything. But then it meant something, which seems contradictory, right? Meaning, I didn't really care about the game. I don't think most of the players who played are going to be part of the starting 11 for the U.S. game. My hope is that you can see from how Qatar plays and how Jordan plays that they've been playing for a while. They have a system of play. They know what they're doing. They're organized, and it's reflected in their play, right? They necessarily may not be the most athletic teams or most skillful teams, but they look better than we did. But we're a pickup team. We're like on Connor side, Connor League team. We pick up and we go play because we have some ability. And that's reflected in our play. And here's what's interesting. With a better team in the second half and played better, but played better offensively, not defensively. So even though we were leading, we hadn't played that well to be leading. And yet when we played better with better players, we were defensively a little bit shambolic, which resulted in us giving up 3 goals. They only scored 2 because the one where Russell gave the ball away, which I don't know why people keep doing that in football nowadays, even at the highest level, was not acceptable. And what we have to think about is we're a team, well, we're not a team, we're a side, because just a bunch of players coming together that have some abilities, but there are certain players in the team or the side who need to really refine their game. They can't control the ball. They're fit. They have energy. They can run all day. But their technical abilities need significant enhancement. And that's euphemism to saying your technical ability is not reflective of the level you're playing at. And it was very apparent for a few players. Not every player, but for a few players. And then we don't have the luxury of not putting away clear-cut chances. And our center forward in the second half got a ball 10 yards out, did a good job of beating his man. The goal is at his mercy, and he kicked the ball outside, which is hard to do. It's easier to hit the target than to miss the target. So the coach need to, and I saw them working drills on trying to put the ball in the corner, but the coach need to work with his forwards on composure in front of goal. Put them in difficult situations. We have to make quick decisions, but decisions where they calm themselves down, pick their spot, and try to put, because if he had scored and we up 2-0, it's harder for Jordan to recover, right? When you're down 1-0, it's a little bit different game than you're down 2-0. So that was very, very disappointing. He's the center forward, who I rate, by the way, and who has played well to me. His link-up play has improved monumentally from when I saw him 2 years ago. Right? Katarock, you can widen your eyes. His link-up play has improved monumentally. His temperament has improved somewhat. I see him getting upset today on the field. But I thought that when he gets the opportunity he does, he needs to put them away, not hit the target. The one he got from Whisper in the last game was in the box and clear. He could even take a touch. And the one he got today, which he sort of created himself, he has to do better. But it's not to focus on any one player. We don't see that pattern of play, system of play, cohesiveness, collaboration on the field. We don't see the movement to get in position. I remember one time in the game, Jordan had the ball on the left-hand side. It was 4 against 4, and they played their way out. They weren't rushed. It was in their own half. It was in the corner by the corner flag, and they found a way to play out against 4 because you know what? That's what you practice, right? Man in the middle, try to get the ball. You practice that, and they play their way out of it, which suggests they work on their game. They have a team together. They're working as a collective. We reflect a very disorganized side. So even though, as I said yesterday, the game didn't mean much, you want to see some players differentiate themselves, and they didn't, actually. It was disappointing. Because what you want is performance, right? Even if you lose the game, you have something to work with. And even though we had periods of decent play, they were few and far between, frankly, of build-up play, of setup. It just was very disappointing. But the only comforting thing is that we know that Katarock big guns are going to come in at some point. Because I still remember Katarock in the Panama game, which will never live down. So I hope the big guns don't play like they did against Panama. He played Panama in the office during the COVID period, because the reaction will not be good. But it'll be better, right? If Mexico is the barometer for me. They mixed the game in Mexico with the same pickup team, frankly, but they've played together for a while now. That was what I used to judge our team and any future performance, not the last 2 games, which were probably just money games versus trying to figure anything out. So,
Okay, so I can't disagree with anything you've said. I will implore you to take out the black card and get on a flight to Chicago.
okay, make it. I already scheduled my work stuff, so
It's
I can't.
Saturday.
I could come, but I
Fly Saturday morning and go back Sunday.
I hate flying, Katarock. I hate flying.
Drive.
I fly a bit.
Neo
I
is
fly a
driving.
bit.
Neo is driving.
I know Neil driving. I thought about riding with him, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's never the same with Kronke. Dre, anyway, how are we gonna get our lobster bites from the? And yes, he did it. But we couldn't stay in the VIP, the VIPs section. We were in the cheap seats. So
no, I prefer where you guys were sitting. It was higher. The seat did feel better. Where I was sitting was too close to the pitch. It's not the same view. Trust me, it's not the same view.
He was in the Spike Lee seats. So let's be clear. The positive of the game was that Corey Burt dispatched a well-taken penalty, low, hard, and even though the keeper guessed the right way, wasn't anywhere near it, not even in his dreams or in his prayers to Allah before. But it worries me that we've gone over 2 matches and the only goals we have scored have come from the penalty spot. We haven't scored any goals from open play, or we haven't scored any goals from set pieces. That's troubling to me. Later on, because I don't want to start the match this early, I'm going to tell you what my honest opinion are about some things. We didn't seem to be at the races again. The Qatar, I saw somebody said that Qatar didn't press. Qatar was pressing Jamaica. They were hurrying us when we got possession of the ball. And then in the midfield,
you mean Jordan, not Qatar?
Jordan. My apologies, Jordan.
They press.
We would just lose possession of the ball. Not able to retain possession. So, oh boy. What airport is close to the stadium and what stadium is the match is being played at Soldier Field? There's no airport.
It's gonna be O'Hare Airport, right? It's O'Hare Airport.
It's O'Hare, and there's a Douglas Airport as well, but it's O'Hare you have to fly in.
Nah, you're not gonna fly into O'Hare.
Midway, no. We don't know about that. Is O'Hare we're flying to? We're international flyers. And Soldier Field. Please don't go to Wrigley Field and go watch the baseball. Overall team performances. How do you grade this performance? Out of 10. Overall team performance.
I'll say a 4.5 or 5. That's what I would give it. 4.5 or 5.
Kronke?
Given Jordan's ranking, it can't be more than a 4.
4.
Yeah.
4.
I don't think we showed enough to say we played well enough given the quality of the opponent. Now they weren't a bad team, don't get me wrong. They moved the ball well, they switched the ball from side to side. They look for the spacing. They drop their shoulders and get by people sometimes, especially when they start on the wing cut inside. So they have players, and they look decent, frankly, for a team ranked in the 80s, what they rank. I don't think their ranking reflect their capability. But we should be doing better against those teams, right? We're supposed to be more athletic than those teams, similar or better skill level, given where our players play, the height of the competition that they're used to. We should be playing better, no matter who's on the field.
So we all agreed with 4, and I think most of the chat agrees with the 4. Some people have gone to 5. Look here. It's not the performance we'd want to see, but we have still not seen our best team together on a consistent basis. And in a previous program, some persons challenged me, and I said, this, and I will want to ask the coach, is this the preparation that he had mapped out in his mind for the Gold Cup? And when they get back from the Gold Cup and we have a press conference, I'm going to be digging deeper to find out who planned this thing to take us further away from the venue to Austria from England, rather than the way that we had done it in 2021, which was to fly to the city where we had our opening match. And, well, we had all the matches there, but had our opening game. And then have a 9-day or 10-day camp with all the players who were in the squad. And who couldn't make it just couldn't make it.
I know, but Katarock, I mean, you think that logistically made a difference? Let me tell you why. Argentina is playing Indonesia in Indonesia. You have a fellow named Martinez, and you have another fellow named Gonzalez that plays for Argentina. Gonzalez was in the finals with Mikel Antonio playing for Fiorentina, and he's in a friendly all the way halfway across the world with his teammates who play professionally in England.
Da-da-dee,
Right.
Well, I was confused. I couldn't believe that it was the same Martinez who.
Yeah, but here's the difference though.
But goalkeepers have a lighter.
No, not only that. When they finish playing those friendlies, they're done for the rest of until preseason, right? They're probably done until preseason. Wow, these players will have to go play those 2 practices, then go play in Soldier Field, then almost go straight into preseason. So there'll be no break. But what I said yesterday, because I did ask the question in the press conference, or day before, yesterday. My point was this: is that the JFF, the players, and the coaching staff have to work out how they're going to operate going forward. Right? You can't just willy-nilly decide I'm not coming to your whatever thing you're doing because I just feel like doing so. You got to work out. So, I'm going to be committed to 3 or 4 windows. If there are 6 windows, for example, I'm going to make myself available for those windows. I mean, I'll be available for all 6 windows, but at least you know who's available for what windows so you can plan better. Right now, it's people just don't come when they feel like not coming. There is no collaboration and coordination between all the 3 parties involved. And so you have this dysfunctional way of operating where you're in Austria and half your team is not there. I don't know what you get out of that what you did in Austria. There is, to me, the benefit maybe about just getting together, being in the same environment. But if half your starters are not there, what are you learning on the field of play that's going to assist you as you go into the tournament? And Gordon said to me when I asked the question that, they're familiar with the coach's method. What are we talking about? The coach only had them for the Mexico game. When did they get familiar with the coach's method? If they only played in the Mexico game as a collective, there is no familiarity with that coaching method or what the coach is trying to do.
Okay, let me just say, I could see the sense in having the camp in Europe because it's basically central football. You have Africa right there, Jordan, the Middle East, you know what I mean? And you have European countries, you have Asia right there. So basically, if you want to arrange a practice match, you have more to grab from basically. And they did, they got Jordan and they got Qatar. So I could see the sense in that, but it's a different issue though with players basically not showing up or choosing not to show up based on whatever reason. I personally can't cut them no slack, I really can't cut them no slack. Barring injury.
Let's make sure we understand this. It's about, you hear me say this 101 times. It's about quality, it's about capability. I don't care what anybody says. The quality we have on the field wasn't good enough. The quality we are bringing in may be good enough. What we had on the field, not all of them, some of them weren't good enough. That's we're going to have we don't have the luxury of having 25 excellent or very good players. We may have 5 or 6 very good. We maybe have 5 good, and we have the rest who are okay.
But still, though, that quality that's in Europe should be able to be Jordan and Qatar.
Well, no, because he didn't play his best team. Here's another thing too. he wanted to give almost everyone some level of competition and be able to get playing time. So in neither the game did he say, here's my best 11 that's going to go play against Qatar or Jordan, at least from where I sit. Blake didn't play the first game, right? Just think about it. Nicholson and Burke played one half, and then DJ played a few minutes in the first game. So at no time for those two games did our best 11 players who were in Austria played simultaneously.
And this is a coach who is concerned about losing. Huh?
Well, he wasn't concerned about losing, I think.
He wasn't?
He was more concerned about, I guess, the camaraderie they're trying to build and deploying his method or whatever that method may entail. But I don't think he didn't seem overly concerned about it. And frankly, if I was him and I know I have a long contract, I want sustained success. So maybe I have a year of trying to figure things out, of recruiting, trying to get things together. And then I can be judged subsequently. Right now, he's being judged based on performance because he hasn't won a game yet. And frankly, he shouldn't have lost to Trinidad at home. I don't care who's on the field. But Trinidad didn't have their best team either. But at the end of the day, I think he's going to be more concerned about, can I see improvement? Can I see 15, 20 players who are going to be part of my standard player pool that I'm going to bring every single game and that won't change? I think he's working towards that.
Is that the first time that he has seen Mariappa play?
No, it can't be. I'm sure he's probably seen him play previously, right. But
so I mean, this coach supposed to have an idea now, coming into a tournament, what is workable. So you know what I mean? So if you're going to start Mariappa, then basically you believe that he's a part of your plan going into the Gold Cup.
I think he is actually.
Oh God, help me.
He played both games, right?
Yep.
So
he played both games. So I think he is.
That is a red flag.
He didn't play Lati, so either Lati's in or he's out.
I'm like you, Kronke, and my expectations are tempered. And I'm willing to give him a grace period, but certain things are obvious now.
Yeah, I think Marky's part of the only thing I was pleased about today, because I won't say I beat him, I give him a hard time. Javain Brown made two brilliant crosses today. Brilliant crosses. One which Parrish should have put away too. People don't realize that. And the one that caused the penalty. They're two brilliant crosses. I mean, he still lacks defensive awareness, which is a problem for him because he's a defender. But I thought his crossing was much better than anybody else on the field. And Harris missed the one that he crossed in the first half with his left foot.
All right. So let's
and then the one that Lambert got fouled on.
Let's get the conversation into some structure. But I'll allow Kyle to you had a point you were going to make.
I just wanted to say that I believe we did well up until we conceded that goal, man. Let me just make the point. We got scored on in 7 minutes. We conceded 2 goals in 7 minutes. So that's a breakdown right there. Up until that point, I saw patches when we were basically passing the ball fluidly and dominating that game. In at one point we had them Jordan stuck in their half for like 10 minutes. I saw that. And then 7 minutes, 2 goals conceded. It's like, it's like the game turned upside down. I was so angry, I turned off my TV and then I turned it back on because I said, maybe them can come back and put in 2 more goals. Not to be. But still, it's still concerning that they keep seeping in goals like this. All right, Katarock, over to you. Structure the whole thing now.
No. I wondered if we can go quickly through. Always do, because sorry, I follow the British model. If we can go quickly through our player ratings and then discuss the tactics, because the coach had said he was going to try different tactics in this match to see how the players responded to that. But it just looked like they were playing like the Qatar game. So what was a different tactic that was on display today? Let me start off there before dipping in.
I'm not rating no player. I'm sorry. I will give you everything.
I'll rate. Katarock, you and I can rate players.
Yeah.
But I'm asking first, what was the tactic? What tactic did you
So go
see
ahead,
today?
Kyle. What tactics did you see?
The tactic I saw before we conceded the goal was that we were pressing and we were passing the ball fluidly. Right? That's what I saw. Pressing, passing the ball fluidly, and trying to get it to Burke. Burke to me, I don't boy. Burke is just impotent. If he didn't get the penalty, he wouldn't score a goal for all his industry. You know? So I believe the whole tactic was just to pass the ball, pass on the wings, Paris, and what's his name? The next one on the wings, and basically get it to Burke. That was it.
Kronke, what you saw as a tactic?
So I it's hard to discern what the tactics were. I think it was very distributed. So once we started the game pressing, frankly, trying to close them down, and it evolved to something else after that. I think we were playing based on what the opposition gave us, not a defined strategy. What do I mean by that? So if you're going to play it from the back, then that's what you're going to do throughout the game. Or if the opposition force you to change, then you change. I think we were just playing. So sometimes, but I was impressed with Blake's distribution today. Because somebody asked him the question the other day about why he keeps kicking the ball out when he plays for Jamaica.
Oh, they asked him that?
Somebody asked him that, why you keep the ball out. When you play for MLST, you play it from the back. Mm-hmm. And when you play for Jamaica, you keep kicking the ball long. And he was basically saying, when you make a mistake close to home and a goal scored, one's perspective may differ. But he plays what is required at that point in time. And he prefers to have the ball 90 yards from his goal, or 90 meters from his goal. Where if a mistake is made, you can recover versus. And he's right, because today we had that mistake with Russell. So maybe the man is right about
but you know what that means?
Assessment.
That says,
well, it means that I don't trust the players around me. Exactly, I don't trust the players around me. And he's right. Russell proved that today. You shouldn't trust him. You can't lose the ball right by the 18 Katarock. They should have scored that goal.
I bet the team
I don't trust them. But he did trust them today because he played up from the back today quite a bit. He plays the ball to the right and left back quite a bit.
And I can guarantee you that he will never be playing the ball out from the back again. Because he just proved his point. Right?
No, but he did try to do that today much better than he normally did, actually.
And he
seems better. You know what? Over the last 3 years, he's improved with his feet over the last 3 years. He's improved with his feet. At one point, he had 2 left foot, and then over time, I think his distribution has improved. So we got to give him kudos for that. He's worked on it. But I didn't see a true pattern of play, what you're asking. I see us playing like you normally just play. If a man is open, I give him the ball. If he's not, then I don't. I didn't see where we have a structure, move the ball from, like how Jordan did. They would play in a certain space where we close that space, they switch to play and start over again, right? And try to progress up the ball where we had more vulnerabilities. I didn't see us doing that. How many times did we switch wing in the whole game? From one wing to the next. Create situations where we have mismatches and go at the opponent. That didn't occur in the game. So I thought, I don't know what the coach's system of plays pattern is. What he's trying to accomplish.
Those are questions we have to ask in the press conference. So let's start. Andre Blake in goal.
He didn't have a ton to do. No, even though they got chances. He didn't make a ton of saves.
No, he did make one really good save, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, he didn't have a ton. It's like he made 10 saves, for example, in the game.
Yeah, but
right?
Who makes 10 saves in a game?
No. But if you're getting battered and you don't play well, that's what you expect. 5 or 6 brilliant saves. He made one good save. I don't remember him making 5 saves in the game. Even though they got chances, the opponent couldn't shoot. They get the ball in the end of the box and blast over the bar for no reason. They had chances, but they weren't hitting the target. So I give Blake a 6. Especially for his distribution today. Actually.
I agree with the Blake's 6. Might even get a little bit more from me. 6.5. I thought he was one of the better players on the park today. Jordan didn't carry their full shooting boots, but he did make an important, impressive save. I think it was in the early second half.
The one where Russell lost the ball,
Yeah,
and was in on goal, and he saved with his right foot and goes over the bar. That was a really save.
Yeah, and he will start against the USA on Saturday.
I would expect, yes.
I wondered why we didn't see Kanaya Boyce Clark even come on to get a senior cap in a game that was really a cannon fodder. He's the only player, and especially when he was a player that people have been questioning his commitment, etc. I think if you come for a 2-game series and you are the only man who not get a touch of the letter,
that was a mistake on the coach's part, and he probably should be asked that question. Why did he play the kid?
right.
That makes no sense. It's a friendly. He played Wait the entire game. What are you trying to see from Wait in an entire game, for example? Why not give him a half and give
Boyce Clark a half.
Doesn't make sense.
Right.
Which tells me that the coach wanted a win. Because if he didn't really care about the win, he would put him in and say, you know what, get your run.
Kanaya Boyce Clark is better with his feet than Blake and Wade. There's no comparison with. I don't know about shot stopping, but with his feet, he's better than both of them.
As for my opinion on Blake, I mean, Blake had a decent game. You know, his distribution was excellent. You know, the back line, he was screaming nonstop.
No, you're using hyperboles. His distribution was better than it is usually, but to go excellent,
all right,
like he's Jordan Pickford or somebody.
No.
You know what I mean?
It's against
the bar has been so low before, but he did lift the bar. But
by the way, we didn't see Splat either. By the way, I don't think Splat didn't play, did he?
Splat didn't play. Thank you, Ian, for saying Splat didn't play. And I was going to bring that up in a curious thing because I thought in the second half, but as you said, the coach was looking for a win. I would have wanted to see Splat and Brandon cover together to see how the CAC give them a feel of each other before the CAC games. If they're going to be our 2 central midfielders at CAC. So I thought there was an opportunity lost. A left back, Amari Bell.
Amari Bell, 5. I thought there were too many gaps in our left back today. No, I know Jordan was switching to play really well, but a number of their attacks came from that side. And Bell's passing has been on and off throughout these 2 games. I gave Bell a 5.
All right. Amari Bell.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go ahead, man.
Amari Bell now. That's why I want to give ratings. Amari Bell's performance is tied into Mariappa. Because believe me, he had to cover for that Mariappa. The first goal, Mariappa basically got beat and him stopped run. So you leave Amari.
Bell was tracking back, and Bell was tracking all the way in.
Right.
Bell tracked his player, and Mariappa lost his player, got dismissed, and then just turned off the engine.
Exactly. So, you know, that's
why was the engine turned off? I don't think he turned it off. I think his engine is going to go certain far
off.
So basically, anybody on that left side, you're going to hold them culpable as to the breakdown. You know what I'm saying? But overall, Amari Bell to me was very industrious. Passing was wayward like everybody at times. But, you know, I mean, you know, he's not no better or worse than anybody on that day. My opinion.
I think Amari Bell, for me, a 5.5. But I respect the youth. He never hides from representing Jamaica. He has played the most games of any reggae boy player, and he came when called upon. He took the field full 90, and if you had asked him to play a full 90, no, he would still be playing. And if they didn't call him off the field, he would still be playing. He's the kind of youth that when the ref blow the whistle, him still a play. I have a lot of respect. The man whose family hails from Barbican. I temper my criticism of him because I know he has had a full workload. I hope he gets a week's rest and we see the best Amari Bell that we can see.
When is he going to get rest? He has a game Saturday. Today's Monday. Can't get a week's rest. It's not possible. He hasn't rested. He's played 40-something games in the championship. That's what I'm telling you. Play these 2 games. It's not logical. And then go right back in the preseason. When he's done, when does he get rest during the season? None.
I think maybe Kamar Taxi Lawrence will have to start that game. The USA game. Hit the like button, people. Stop around for the thing, man. I know we pick the side and they over this, so don't do it like that. But I think also he was let down by Kahim Paris on his wing. He gave him no defensive assistance. So yes, Mariappa behind, but Kahim Paris in front didn't really offer any assistance at all. So yes, centre back. Adrian Mariappa.
Mariappa. Mariappa gets a 3.5. I can't. Maps can't run anymore. I'm sorry. Maps can't run anymore.
I'm past, man. You passed me on that one. I've said what I said yesterday on the program with Kronke. So all who were privileged to listen what I said, it stands.
Yeah, Maps can't run anymore. So I'm gonna give him 3.5 for that game.
Maps was affectionately known as the boss. I do believe if you open the office, the boss is not in the office. He's playing golf. It's got to be the worst performance that I've seen by Adrian Mariappa in all the years that I've been watching him. 1. He literally stopped running. Just, even if you try and make it look like, So, yeah, 1. Showed up, sang the anthem as usual.
Andrew gave him 0. That's cruel, Andrew. He's on the field.
Nobody showed up, man.
Yeah, he didn't play well. But he's playing 2 games in a row, which makes no sense. Why are you going to start in both games? Like, I don't understand the logic.
I thought we could have tried and seen the Deshaun Bernard King combination.
I've tried Lati at centre back because we know Lowe is injured.
But Latibedir is a centre back. Latibedir is a centre back.
I'm saying try him at centre along with Bernard because we know that Lowe may not recover. And Pinnock needs a partner. Who's going to partner Pinnock? I hope he's not thinking about having Maps partner Pinnock. But I have a feeling he is.
Deshaun Bernard, his first start for Jamaica in his second cap.
I thought Bernard was a 4. I thought he made a number of mistakes. The one when he got booking on, fools rushing where Angels fear to tread, just running the man, just put the ball around him like he's not there. Another one, he got a second booking on going in wild like we did in the 1970s. Today's football, you clear the ball, clear the man. He was out of position sometimes. When he got the ball, he made passes, some decent passes. I didn't think he was that impressive. I thought he was a 4.
I thought he was impressive.
I didn't think he was impressive. I thought he made too many mistakes that were not apparent.
People, give us your Deshaun Bernard. And when you give the score, them just say who you give the score for them, please and thanks. Remember that people catch this on the rewatch. You know what I mean? Deshaun Bernard.
I believe he was impressive. I believe he was a force. Quick to the ball. A no-nonsense defender. I liked what I saw, but it's only 1 game. So, hey.
He came on in the first game.
Oh, yeah, they did.
I wasn't overly impressed, actually. I wasn't overly impressed.
So, we'll see.
I've been watching now for a smaller time the first game, and this game, the jury's still out on him. Your view, Katarock?
Deshaun Bernard did not look like a Manchester United player who came up in the Manchester United system. Looked to me.
He looked like a Leeds player, for example.
No, he looked like
that's what I expect from a Leeds player.
He looks like a Portsmouth player where he was. However, I would say he's a poor man's Liam Moore. Full of heart. As you said, goes in where fools fear to tread. But Leon Moore doesn't.
And sometimes don't see man or ball. That first when the man went by him and he kicked him down, you're sitting here thinking, come on, this is 2023.
Right.
You know, you block the player, step over the ball. You don't just go through and miss everything. Come on.
So I would have to say, but then again, he was partnering with Maps, so I don't know. So I just say 5. He did carry the ball out to defense a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was not on the long ball foolishness. He was not on the long ball foolishness. So 5. People don't understand the player ratings. The man them in that chat, and I move some.
No, they gave ratings. They just missed them. There were a lot of 4s. One person had a 6.7. Why we all seeing the game so differently?
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't see Bernard looking that impressive. So maybe I should take my glasses. I wish I gave my glasses on, not to miss anything.
No, but then I think some people are compensating him for the partner.
Yeah.
I get some new furniture. Yeah, man. So if you hear some noise, that's furniture being delivered. Sorry about that. Right back, Javane Brown.
Javane Brown.
Didn't they say that yesterday, Kronke? Didn't they say that Javane Brown can't tackle? Remember?
Yeah, we had a lot of comments on Javane Brown.
Yeah, the guy played decent. I told you so. He gave a decent account of himself, in my opinion.
It pains me to say this, but Javane Brown is in contention for Jamaica's man of the match.
Thank you, brethren. Thank you.
About a 6, but these men just get dismissed so easily, though.
So I gave Javane Brown a 6 for his offensive contribution. I gave him a 3 for his defensive contribution. And I rounded up to a 5, even though the round didn't make any sense. Right?
You rounded it down.
No, because it was 6 and 3 is 9 and 4.5. I gave him the benefit of the doubt and gave him a 5. So here's the thing, which is I thought his 2 crosses were brilliant, not just good, brilliant crosses. Should have been 2 goals. I thought he worked really hard. But I think sometimes Javane doesn't look to see where he is when he's being attacked. One time he and 2 other defenders tackle the same man and the ball is gone on the left-hand side. There's no way inside. You're the right back. You've seen everything in front of you. You control the play. You tell who to go where, and you making sure the man that get behind you and are running off you. He didn't do that. He's not helped by the fact that our wingers don't really come back that well to support their right or left back. We're poor at doing so. But I thought this was one of his better games, frankly. I thought it was one of his better games. I was very impressed with him today, which I normally am not. You hear me talk about Javane needs to be in the stand like us when we play games. But you know what? Can't write off players. He came out, he played hard. He put in a shift. I thought he did better than he normally did.
Somebody said competition is good.
It's healthy.
See, it's healthy. He's playing like a man who knows there's a man ready for yamming food. So, he pulled the plate and so he did well. And as a professional Javane Brown beater, I have to give credit where credit is due because I'm one of his harsh critics. And I get on Devon Porter's case because Devon pretends like he was not the man that was talking up the Vancouver Whitecaps right back to us. That's the defense line in a 2-1 defeat. Let's go into central midfield and start with John Russell. No one wants to take that hot potato?
Look, the Titanic is hard to turn, right? It's hard to turn the Titanic. The Titanic struggles to turn. And he's like the Titanic. It's hard to turn. He's very slow. He's plodding. He can make a pass when it comes to him. But his mobility is lacking.
So how do you deal with like Matip or Matic? Chelsea had a very tall Matic
Yeah, Matic. He went to Man U. Was at Chelsea. Went to Man U. Now plays in Italy.
Yeah, he's big. He's tall.
Yeah, but he has a lot of ball skills. A lot of ball skills.
Yaya Toure.
Stop
Tall.
comparing apples and oranges.
No, I'm talking about the kind of player. Over 6 foot.
But they're more mobile than he is, and they're more skillful than he is.
Yeah, but you're saying that a big guy can't be mobile?
No, I say he's the Titanic. The difference between a big guy being a big guy versus a big guy who doesn't turn really well and who doesn't move really well.
Kronke, you're going in with your knife and fork, man.
And he's lumbering, hard to turn. He was a 5. He's a 5 at best in the game. He's a 5 at best.
Let me give you my assessment of Russell, because I've been watching him real closely because I'm trying to figure it out, like Kronke. If he's lumbering, if he's slow, if he's something, but there's something about him. But I really took a good look at him in this game. Okay? And from what I see, it appears that he's lumbering and slow. But he's more calculating because he did make some good interceptions and some good passes. That one though where he almost gave away that goal, that's against him. But I believe, given game time, get to know the players, that you will see him improve. I think he's somebody that we can work with. I would also give him a 5. I'll also give him a 5. But I don't grade people, right?
He's getting some scores here. He's getting 1. He's getting 3. He's getting
where?
Antonio,
he scores all over the place.
Antonio Knight, I want you to answer me this. Whether should I stop? I was responding to Stan Kronke when he says it's hard to turn the Titanic. And I'm saying that they are big, strong, tall, Wilfred and Didi. They're big, strong, tall CDMs who are mobile and who some of them, like Yaya Toure, used to drive forward. I mean, that was a term they would say. He would drive from box to box, not run. Just come at you in some frightening way, leading the Manchester City counter-attack back in those days, for those who can remember. John Russell. I have to be always careful what I say about John Russell because he has taken over the position for which my favorite player, family, and everybody used to play for Jamaica.
And now a Titanic.
And I have said to persons,
a small Titanic,
that I'm going to start by saying, in Grant we trust. No, came up with the same Chelsea methodology of a CDM. I can see some aspects of that in him. I'm believing at some points he wants to park the bus, but that's not how Jamaica Halgamston is trying to play. He's trying to keep the thing ticking over, and I don't think that that's Jonathan Russell's wheel well. It was an indifferent game today. And at CDM, you can't make mistakes. It's one of those positions like goalkeepers. If you make a mistake, it can get very messy. And we almost paid the price. I would say John Russell 3, but...
Let me say this. It's going to sound like a hypocrite on my part.
Hold on, let me finish. At some points in time, you have to make yourself available to collect the pass, right? That's one of the things that a CDM has to do. And I didn't see him making himself available. He did make some critical interceptions. I'm going to give him that. So I don't doubt his reading of the game, but there's just something there. And I want to put it in this way. When I looked at it and finished the game, I said, there's a reason why Jonathan Russell has not started more than one game, I think, for Barnsley in the last 2 years or 2 games.
You didn't see him make a pass?
No, I did not say anything about the passer. Okay. But I said I CDM. I said I gave him his credit for his passing.
Okay. All right.
And his interception. I'm talking about tackling and blocking and clogging up the channels. He wasn't doing that. He also made a couple of errant passes as well, right? But he's a smooth pass of the ball. He's a smooth pass of the ball.
So even if Ravel is on the beach,
he doesn't play 90 minutes of football for his club. And I'm thinking there's a reason for that. And I'm afraid that Jamaica is looking for a CDM to play 90 minutes. And I think we're going to find out why Jonathan Russell doesn't play 90 minutes. But I'm putting him on the plane. He's going to the Gold Cup. And then we will see if he is fish or foul. Jamaica is not good to be fish, so let's hope he is a foul. But a solid 3, mostly for his passing, keeping the game ticking over.
A 3 for passing. Okay. That's interesting, Grady.
He didn't cover the defense. He didn't cover the defense. And God knows
that defense is hard to cover. They can't cover themselves. That defense can't cover themselves. I'm not sure who they're going to cover.
You know what I mean?
They can't cover themselves.
I
do think the midfield, if he's on the beach and he hasn't played a game in 2 years, we don't have any midfielder better than Ravel so far. Apart from maybe DJ. Not DJ, Bobby Reed. Even DJ to me is so okay. I think Ravel should be in the team to play 20 minutes a game at 30, regardless of what it is. Yeah. We don't have anybody making those incisive passing, calm the game down, keeping a little spot, boxing around so you can create something. Nothing. We don't have no orchestrators out there. Ravel orchestrates stuff. And even if you give Ravel a hard time, say, you know what, he's not playing for a team. At least you see him trying to do something, some games, orchestrating stuff, moving people around, moving the defense around. We have none of that orchestrated on the field. None. None of them.
And Ravel has been there before. He has an experience. Russell is just coming into this role. So,
I'm going to give him a couple more games. I'm not going to be hard on him.
I would have brought Ravel, just like you. Anyway.
And when I do my overall assessment, I'm going to have a question. So we're at the 45-minute mark, 70 likes, 100 and almost people up on the live, 142 on the top ramp with the thing.
Press the like, people. Press the like. This is a thinking man, thinking woman's program.
It is.
Right.
It's also the Ultras program. Andrew Chambers, you would have to show me where Jonathan Russell is a better CDM than Anthony Grant. You really would have to show me. It's not there. He does have age on his side, and I hope he will develop. And I'm saying I'm willing to give him some more time in this team. Time which persons weren't willing to give Grant when he stepped in and said he'd better do what he had to do in Mexico. Otherwise, Katarock shut up and he has done his thing in his 6 games. But I
don't think time is Grant's friend. Time is not.
No,
it isn't.
Friend. It isn't. I accept that in context. But I'm saying I cannot see how Andre Gray and Anthony Grant were not in a 50-man roster. Because I don't see what the players who are there bring to the table that either of those 2 senior players would have brought when we have Mariappa there in defense.
I hear you.
Kevin Lambert.
I think Kevin Lambert had a normal Kevin Lambert game.
I'm not saying to give Anthony Grant time. I'm saying we'll never give him a time. He would have to come in and perform. Kevin Lambert had Kevin Lambert game. What is a Kevin Lambert game?
What he did today. That's his game.
What is that?
He's a standard 4. He gets a 4. That's Kevin Lambert.
To be honest, and this is shocking. I didn't see him.
But I'm saying that's Kevin Lambert game. You don't really see it. He's out there. He's doing a lot, but you can't see it.
I didn't see the guy, man. I knew
I didn't hear his name.
And you know something? You try to make out who did that. Wait. When you watching him play, you watch him out. Now, who made that pass a while ago?
Telling you the truth,
so rare to see him.
I knew he's on the start list. I knew he's in the game, but I did not see him. What the fuck is this?
He had a Kevin Lambert game. He's not prominent. If he goes to center half, I think he plays better because then it's more obvious. In the midfield, he's never visible.
You know what?
That
You
is
know
terrible.
what confounds me? Let me tell you what confounds me. I'm saying this, and I don't business who wants to and somebody to say that shot. You have two 20-something-year-olds, less than 25, in Kevin Lambert and John Russell, and they couldn't carry a candle to a central midfield when Grant and Speedy were playing together. That is what I see on my television, and that's what is bugging me. They are younger, and therefore they're supposed to bring more energy to the thing and lift the thing. I don't see them carrying the torch. Me personally.
Wait, Antonio Knight said Lambert won the penalty for starters.
He did win the penalty.
Yeah, he did win the penalty.
But it was the defender who gave it to him. The defender pushed him for no reason. He probably would have scored anyway.
Right.
But he did find himself into the box, right?
He did, and that's a good thing for.
And that
CM
Anthony Grant would never find himself into any penalty box. I just tell you that, right? Because of the way that kind of CDM is. What do we want? Does that say that Russell was playing the CDM and Lambert was playing box to box? Because that's the only time he reached the other box. I don't know. I'd say a 4. In a poor midfield.
I think a 4 is a fair grade. I think the midfield was just above a 4.
4.5. Daniel Johnson.
That's my MOM.
MOM?
No, he meant MOTM. That's what he meant.
That's your mom.
He meant MOTM. He meant MOTM.
Yeah, man. He was there. He was really trying to push things forward, defend, trap back, name it. He was there. He was a workhorse in that middle.
I'm seeing 6.5 and 5.5. He was working. But I saw him pushing a lot of things back.
Maybe that was the only option because Burke, to me, was impotent. I mean, I don't know what the hell was going on with Burke. I don't know.
I think DJ was a 6. I think DJ was busy. I think he tried to push the team forward. I think he was partially effective in doing so, sometimes ineffective. I think he made some bad passes sometimes where there were simpler passes to be made. But I thought he worked really, really hard. I thought he was the leader on the field, actually, for the team. And that was reflected in how he was playing. You can see he was the more statured player there. But we needed more quality from him than what we actually saw.
I saw some frustration, too. You know, when he took a shot from out of the 18 when he had a better pass.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So
I gave him a 6.
DJ got for me a 5.5. A reliable midfielder who has never played his best position for Jamaica. He is an attacking midfielder, central attacking midfielder, calm. That's what he plays for Preston North End. That's what he played when he was at Aston Villa. In Jamaica, we have used him as a CDM, we have used him as a box-to-box. Hopefully, and the man is reached 30, hopefully we allow him to play in his preferred role. He's
not playing camp for Jamaica. That's Bobby Reid. He's not going to get Bobby Reid's spot. That's not happening.
But then let him come on when Bobby Reid needs to come off.
That could be a solution.
But it's not fair to a player. I feel like for DJ, like how I feel for Michael Hector, the one time he really played calm is when he scored. And he was very upset because he was left on the bench for the critical match when Jamaica's qualification was, and he was vocal and beer clot. And if you recall, he had scored, and then the very next game, he was just left on the bench.
Yeah, I recall that, I think.
Yeah, I feel for him like how I feel for Michael Hector. Like, just take a man and put him in a different position and then beat him.
I think Hector is better than all the CDMs we have now. Without a doubt. Somebody want to beat Hector is better than what we have today.
Isn't that a thing? Hector look better than all the centre backs we have.
Look, all of it.
I've seen.
Apart
I
from
watched
Pinnock,
him play
probably.
for
Apart from
Charlton. I watched him.
Pinnock, oh,
No, meaning in Austria.
in Austria, yeah, he's better than
In
all of
Austria.
them. He's better than all of them.
In
He's better
Austria.
than all of them.
In Austria.
He's better than all of them.
I don't know what DJ was playing today. I don't know how the midfield.
I think he was playing Cam today, you know.
No, but he couldn't be.
He was playing more Cam than anything today.
The midfield was made up of who? Daniel Johnson,
Lambert,
Kevin
Johnson,
Lambert,
and
Russell.
And Russell, right. So Lambert and Russell were playing deeper. He was playing higher up the field. It wasn't 3 across. He was playing higher up, but he was playing all over, right? Playing like a traditional 10 versus one of those hybrid 10. No, he was playing more Cam today.
Let me look and tell you what worried me. So what was Demario Phillips playing?
We will get to Demario Phillips. Don't jump the gun. We get to Demario.
Because Demario Phillips is the cam, and to me, Daniel Johnson was given a box-to-box role.
So we had Paris on one wing. We had Burke, and Phillips was playing wider, wasn't he?
That's what I saw.
Yeah. So where do you think he was playing? So what, we had no wingers and one forward? Is that what you're saying?
Precisely why I asked you what was the tactic in this game. I couldn't
think Phillips
figure
was
it
playing
out,
wider.
and I will yield. Phillips was playing on the right wing?
I think he was playing wide, yeah.
Seriously?
But then what he did is he drifts. That's what he did in the last game too. Because he probably is a natural midfielder, he drifts when he plays, but I think he was playing wider, at least from where I saw him.
Okay.
I think he drifts because that's his normal tendency. That's what he used to, but I think he was playing wider. We'll get to Phillips, by the way.
So Daniel Johnson, they try. But I think Daniel, let me also say, Daniel Johnson is comfortable playing with Bobby Reed. You can see that they like playing with each other on the field. Just their demeanor. And he likes playing with Ravel as well. The three of those guys like playing together.
Yeah, that's a part.
They seem to have gotten a chemistry between the three of them. They sound like man up on WhatsApp. Like one of them might, game on a catty and say, "Oh, I have a link." They go for drinks. They have over the last 2 years built a chemistry and friendship. Maybe not Ravel with them, but I mean, they seem to like playing together, and they seem to give a little bit more extra effort when playing together. You know who he doesn't mind playing with? He actually doesn't mind playing with Michael Hector, even though that combination doesn't work. But if you remember the last Gold Cup, that's what we tried in central midfield.
I thought Hector played well the last Gold Cup.
Right? But you can see, when I see a player, he will put an effort to clean up a mistake that Hector makes. And Hector would have put a little extra effort, thing. But I don't know, man. So, Demario Phillips.
I'll let Kai go first. Then you go, then I go last.
Okay. Is that Demario texting you? Saying don't call my name?
Demario Phillips, like I said, they're trying to work the wings, but the passes, the passes.
What's the rating for Phillips? Ducklet, wait. Ducklet says a 7.
What?
Duckland, this is not what he's playing for.
No, keep going. Let's hear Demario Phillips grade.
Yeah, I mean the
6.5 by King J. Owen says a 3.
Demario Phillips, the wingers basically, to me, they had a decent game. I really believe that they had a decent game. It's just that I believe that Burke was just running aimlessly. He just could not connect with the passes. He couldn't link with none of them, meaning the wingers, the midfielder. So everything just broke down. You know what I mean? But I believe that the wingers, Phillips, he gave a good account of himself. He tracked back, not like we would like, but I saw him coming back. I saw him making some nice passes, trying to run, overlap with JD. I mean, to me, he was all right. Both of them.
Katarock, your view? Katarock, your view? Thanks, Scott. Katarock, your view?
If this is the best the JPL has to offer, we are in trouble.
This guy.
So, aside from the first game, this headless chicken business, where us are run up and down busy, like your name, Busy Atkinson. Somebody wrote it before me, busy and ineffective. I don't know what he's doing on the field. I don't know, brother. But he was running, which is more than can be said for a lot of men. Some men were strolling, like Lambert, a stroll. John Russell did a stroll. Well,
but
so I am saying, hold on, let me finish.
Let him finish, Scott. Let him finish.
I have to give him A for effort. I saw a player who was trying to represent Jamaica and didn't want us to lose either game, right? Someone just come in and just, I try on my side. So I saw heart. But the end product, heavy touches, misplaced passes, and that construct just doesn't work. Whether he was playing, because at some point I thought he was playing cam. I thought we were playing 3 central midfielders and 1 cam, and 1 winger and 1 striker. But I have to be fair to him, and I will keep forever calling his name, and that's what Jonathan Russell does not do. That Grant and even Kevin Stewart. Let me not forget when Kevin Stewart was there for the 2 games. They talk and they keep the shape of the team. So that was, I think, what Russell was ineffective of doing as a CDM, keeping the shape of the team. My man did a run all over the place, brother.
All right, Katarock. The context of Phillips, is his interlinking with Burke and Johnson. And if you have Burke, who basically, I don't know, his runs were just off, because I've seen better from Burke, but this just wasn't his game. And if Burke runs are off and Phillips is trying to connect with him, Phillips isn't, Phillips' game won't look as good as it should look.
So you say there's another man make him look bad.
I'm saying that it played into it. It played into it. He had better interlinking play with Johnson. But going forward, there was just a breakdown with Burke.
So Kyle, let me help you and tell you something. When you hear people say, give us McGee, you know you have a problem, bad bro. Really, even I look at the game and I say, anybody see Lamar Walker?
Yes.
Anything else would have done. But I have to give the youth respect. My
Look
man as a yard man, and it's like him get some counterfeit Nike from China and him did try sell it for them chapali. But the banana then they rotten. So he couldn't sell. But he turned it over and make the rotten side never show. But A for effort, A for heart. And he was running, which is what midfielders need to do. The coach keeps speaking about tempo and the pace of the game. That moves us on to, so I give him
I
give him a running 4. I give him a running 4. A running 4.
So I walked away from this tournament saying, in Jamaica, we have to do a better job of developing our locally developed footballers. I watched Phillips play, and effort is something that should be expected of every player. He gave extra effort, A++ effort.
Yeah, man.
But if I give you 11 out of 10 terms of effort and a 1 for application, and effort is 30% of the grade because the technical ability and application is what is most probably needed, then I didn't give him more than a 4. I thought he can't control the ball. Like, it's really bad. Like, you watch him the first game in this game, look at the balls he miscontrolled. Even the ball on the ground coming to him, his first touch is like Lukaku, but worse than Lukaku. Like, really, his first touch is really bad. And it kills his game because you know what happens? With them recovering for the first touch. And it kills you. He has to work on his control. I'm sure it's probably his first tournament, but his effort is ridiculous. I think he runs all game at the same speed, and you want that in a team, right? Especially your pressing team. You want players who can get to the opposition and let them feel uncomfortable. But then you're uncomfortable when he gets the ball. Because you have no, that's why you see your center forward can't get much ball because my wingers, both of them, and we talk about Paris too, just are not contributing to the game. So you look at the game card, how many good passes did he make? One time in the first half, he got a ball one-on-one with the defender, you're saying to yourself, okay, roast him. Do something to get by him. He turns the ball over and you start shaking your head and like, here we go again. Come on, you're a footballer, you're quick, you have a lot of energy, you're mobile. Where's the technical ability? It's not evident. Maybe he has it and it didn't come out, but it wasn't evident. So I was impressed with his effort. I wasn't impressed with how he applied his technical ability or lack thereof. I gave him a 4, and I am being generous.
And so we ended the Stan said all of that so that you guys wouldn't realize that him and I have been basically grading the same. Right? But let me say something else about this. Let me say something else about this. Some man have to go watch JPL, brother. I have never seen Demario Phillips play on the wing in a JPL game. No sorry, Bob. He plays in the middle. So I don't know where and which game I'm going to watch. And I'm not going to tell you that I watch all the JPL games because I don't really like the side that he plays to. But whenever he had played against Arnett Gardens, he was playing in the middle of the field. In the finals, in the semifinals, he would have played in the middle of the field.
And he looked good too. And he looked good in those games, Katarock. But against the level of competition you're facing, you know, if you make a bad touch, you may be able to recover that bad touch. When you're playing against better competition, you're not going to be able to recover. I thought he looked decent in those games.
But hold on. Jamaican Fred doesn't have bad touches. Fred's just not the most, is not pleasing on the eye. He's not easy on the eye.
Jamaican, which Fred? You mean Fred that plays in Brazil?
I'm Brazilian Man U. Are you nuts? Are you nuts?
The comments are harsh.
No,
listen, confusing levels.
He is more like a 2023 Shorty Malcolm without Shorty Malcolm's lack of technical ability. And Shorty Malcolm, lack of technical ability, never exposed him. It just meant that he could not become a great player and he couldn't get a professional contract outside of Jamaica, but would always look good in a Jamaican jersey.
Spence asking for a dialing number.
We're not take the call.
Oh, come on. Drop a link for Spence, man. Make Spence come in.
But send him a link. But we're not take the call. And the man is bandit. Let's move on to Kahim. Does he really play in Ukraine, Paris? I'll start. I looked at Kahim Paris in this game and the previous game. And I'm going into an anti-war protest because I believe the shelling in Ukraine has effect. Because he looked like a shell-shocked player.
Oh, Paris.
Kahim Paris. Totally missing. It was Javier. I don't know whose cross it was. It was Javier's cross.
Here's some of the greatest Kaya. Here's some of the greatest Kaya. That's 1. That's 2. Wait, not it. That's 2.
Wow.
That's 3.
His
grades are consistent. His grades are consistent, Kaya.
He's the only consistent man. Hey.
Whoa. I have to go back and watch the game. God. Them man are cruel.
So here's some of the comments on Paris. Look.
Man, build up the furniture here. So if you little thing.
Paris people. Look, my after man, Paris.
Yes.
All right, I'm mad, man.
The man in 2 games now, he has missed.
Anyway, look at these grades, Kyle. There's nobody over 5 so far, you know.
I'm gonna have a comment then. Go on.
I think Kyle's watching the game when in 7 take a sip of the white rum.
Let me just
First of all, why does man need to take a heat break in Austria?
Maybe he's hot in Europe. You know, climate change. Things change nowadays, you know. They've done it in England too. When climate change hits, that temperature goes into 30-something Celsius. It gets hot. It's in the 90s Fahrenheit.
Charles Brahma said, didn't see a thing from him. I didn't see one either. No. He had all the space he needed to because Corey Burke vacated. So he had because of everything. He got a goal on a platter. On a platter.
So is that the reason why he's getting such low scores?
No, because he didn't do nothing else. He's a winger. Name me one time he crossed the ball. On my laptop, I fall off, I stand.
Don't cross the ball, don't beat a man, don't make no true pass.
Him not boxer man, him not tackler man, him not pull a man shirt.
I don't know what it is.
Like, you do something, brother. Pull back a man and get a yellow card. When the ball turn, nothing. Shell shocked. Russia stop bomb Ukraine. Beg you, please.
I thought Paris had a tough 2 games. I didn't think he played well, especially this last game. And it's disappointing because I heard Management is an advocate of his, and I heard others extolling his virtues and how well he's playing in Europe, and his team may make the Champions League or the Europa League or whatever league they're trying to get into, and he's a key part of the team. So I had a heightened expectation when he came into this at the level he's now playing, given who the competition is, and he's sorely disappointed. Like, I can tell you one very good play he made over those 2 games he played. Like an excellent play, like a cross on somebody's head, or a true pass to someone, or tracking back, quite a bit and helping out Bell. Or I can't point out to any of his qualities that suggests he's a very good player, and that's disappointing. Now, sometimes you may have a bad series, a bad tournament, a bad game, but within those situations, you'll see the players have some differentiated qualities. I couldn't see those. So
0.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
0.
Disappointing.
And it makes me now beg the question, because some of these things are going to pull down my grading of the coach, even though you know me 100% the coach.
I mean, coach, no.
Why leave? Hold on, listen. Why leave Busy Atkinson in Iceland nearby when we had a short team? He plays on the wing. He was one of the better players against Trinidad. I don't know. CFS, the man who wear the 1 cap. Okay, this man program, so I'm not going to be disrespectful here. But the man who sit down on TV and wear the 1 cap every day, the false prophet, he said that CFS says he was not contacted. And if he was, he could have gotten a Schengen visa and his management team. So I don't know how CFS and Busy Atkinson were overlooked for Kahim Paris. Oh, Fresh God said he hasn't played for the Iceland team. Fresh God, make yourself some use. There's a walk around with a wrench like your mechanic. Can you check up and see if he's injured? And I'll accept that. And that brings us to Corey Burke, aka Scory Burke.
Boy, that was one of his worst games. Beside the penalty, I mean, I don't know, man. The guy couldn't.
No, hold on one second. Father Minot, we're not saying instead of. We're saying at some point we only had 17 or 18 of 23 players. So why wouldn't players who are just a short plane ride in Europe be called in to bolster the squad? Nobody's saying instead of. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, that was one of Corey Burke's worst games. He couldn't create a open scoring chance for himself. He wasn't running into the passes. He was just chasing the ball, chasing, just chasing. No, that was truly a headless chicken performance. If he didn't get the penalty, oh my God. So, like you said, A for effort, but That was one of his worst games. Worst games. And I like Corey Burke. Believe it. I like him.
And therefore it pains you to say out of 10.
I'm not saying nothing. I like Corey Burke.
He
Yeah,
scored.
no,
He scored. No, he scored. So he's more than 0. He scored.
More than 0, he scored.
Yeah.
I am saying, listen, what I say is, I thought that Corey Burke whispered to the Jordanian, we need to go in that Gold Cup squad. Shoot me down. Shoot me down, please.
He was the one who got the penalty.
I don't even get a penalty.
It's Lambert. Didn't Lambert got fouled? He took the penalty. He didn't get the penalty.
Oh, okay.
Unless I missed something and confusing them, but I thought Lambert won that foul.
I think Berg plays better with a second striker because the industry, throws off the opposition, that physicality and that speed. But by himself, oh my God, I mean.
Because Lambert with the penalty, yeah, he was in the box. I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought maybe he might have been converting to Islam. Didn't want to offend Allah. I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't even give him a score. I can't. Dre, anyway, I know your ball and I know some of the there Orlando, no, I can't. Judge of God. Mighty God of Daniel. That's what I was saying.
So
and then let me say something to you. And these are the questions that I'm going to ask. On what evidence did I want to ask the coach, because I'm not taking away his job. What did you see that made you think that he is more effective than Andre Gray? Because Andre Gray gives you the same energy and effort at age 31. Just what did we see? 6 goals in 5 European games. That's the only time I saw it. I saw his European games, right? I don't watch the Cyprus League or anything like that. But I watch the Conference League, right? Because it comes on. 6 goals in 5 Conference League games. Yes, he never had a lot of production in the latter half. But tell me, what is it that somebody could have seen on Corey that would make you say Andre Gray doesn't deserve to be in a 50-man roster?
Yeah. So let's move to.
I haven't given my Corey.
Go ahead. So he's not accessible. Can't assist it.
So I think Burke and Phillips show that Jamaica does have this lineage of being track athletes and very fast. And if you combine that with effort, it does contribute to your game. But the Corey Burke we saw today is the Corey Burke I've seen play for Jamaica. A lot of effort, industrious, technically challenged. And what was bad today, people don't realize, was his decision making. So now he's making bad pass. When he got the ball in dangerous positions, he made the wrong decision each time. He would have Paris running off him, which was the better pass. He made a pass, he reached a destination, but it was the wrong pass. And that's where the speed of decision is an imperative when you're playing, especially center forward. You got to make a quick decision. You got to make the right decision and get the ball at the right pace or the right tempo to give your teammate a chance to get on the ball. And Corey's technically challenged. Love his effort, run our game like Phillips does. I think Phillips has more technical abilities. Control lets him down. I think Burke is what you saw.
Douglas didn't explain that. Andre Gray plays like an invisible man, is always holding his shirt.
I think Andre Gray, who played at Watford, is not the same Andre Gray.
No, he is not. He's older.
He's still technically a decent player, but he can't run anymore.
And he finishes.
He finishes, but he can't run anymore. He's like, you know what? He's a better version athletically than Anthony Grant, but they're in the same shop window.
Yes,
They are. They can't run. So they play is 9. You play with 9 people.
No, you're not playing with 9 people.
Wise.
No, and be fair to him, he's a bit more mobile than Grant. But remember,
come on, I saw him up close in Orlando.
In his debut game,
he
had an assist, that he laid on for Jamal.
No, he scores goals. We agree he scores goals.
But you have to go put it to the point that at some point he's going to sniff a chance. And
Yeah, but he's a better player than Burke. He's a better player than Burke. They're not in the same camp. Burke is a much harder worker, much quicker defensively, but they're not in the same camp technically.
No, but Gray hasn't had a lot of injuries. He's played in every single game in Cyprus. He hasn't been injured this season. And Andre Gray has not had injuries this season. Sorry.
I think Burke is there because he works better with a second striker. He's more physical and more faster. So that's why the coach bring him in. You draw players.
Yeah, but you can't. Here's the thing: when Phillips, look, I prefer to play with a player who has technical ability than if it's just based on fitness and being an athlete. I mean, it doesn't. If you don't have any technical ability, it kills you. Because good players just play the ball around you, just be running all day, and when you get it, you can't do anything with it. Right. So offensively, you're a liability, and defensively, you're playing against a good team, you're challenged. That doesn't work.
I think the coach put him up there by himself to see, okay, let me see what you can do. And we were all disappointed. He cannot play without a second striker, period. Done.
But Jamaica normally uses him on the wing, though. He normally plays on the right wing, doesn't he?
Who?
He plays out wide a lot of times. He plays out wide.
Okay, when I understand that. Oh, Greece, and not Cyprus, sorry. Thank you, BM. Greece. But I don't watch the Greek league either. Yes, he has slowed. He was a lot of pace. He played in a two-man. His best days were as a strike partner to Troy Deeney. Those were his best days. But we often get players at the wrong time, not when they're at the peak.
Now he's interchanged with Deeney. They used to be. He's a substitute for Deeney, actually.
No, when they played together, they looked good. In those occasions.
A lot of times, Gray was coming off the bench when he played.
Yes. Because Corey Burke is pretty much the same age. And
who is next, Katarock?
They're the Boza.
Boza. God.
So I'll go with Boza, actually. I like Boza, actually, as a player. I think Boza, I have time for Boza, except when he gets in front of the goal. So Boza, to me, I don't think you guys realize his link-up play has improved significantly. His link-up play is good. His holding up the ball is good. I just think he lacks composure in front of the goal. And the last two games, he got clear sitters, and he didn't put them away. And he don't get bad grades for that. I don't think it's based on his link-up play. In fact, his movement is also good because the shot that Whisper took, Boza was in. If he gave him a look-away pass, Boza was in on goal, but Whisper went for goal, but you can't blame him. So even though people are going to kill Boza because he missed a chance, I like Boza's link-up play. But you can't play two games. You got a goal, I think, even at this point in my life, I could probably hit the target because anybody could. I would say Katarock, but he's not a footballer, so I can't say Katarock would. Hasn't been, never will be. But anyway, I think Boza has to do better in front of goal. Has to do better. You can't have the goal at your mercy and you kick the ball out of bounds from 10 yards out when no one is trying to block you. You got rid of your man. The whole right side is open. Come on, Boza. Do better. But I like Boza's game. And I get killed. I gave him a 3 because he didn't have a lot of time to do it until then he missed the whole goal. But I think Boza's going to be an asset if he can compose himself in front of goal. I think he'd be an asset. He's a handful playing up top. Trust me.
I have to agree with Stan. 3, big target man, the Jamaicans, Emil Heskey. But he needs a Michael Owen to put away the chances that he knocks down. He's becoming a better target man, a better hold-up player, but finishing. And I believe, I remember people say that he was in line to move to Everton and those things there. Overreaching.
Yeah, I think Boza, he's definitely improving. Link up play, running into areas, definitely improving. But I think Boza is a kind of player who needs, he needs a purple patch. Once he starts hitting that patch, I mean, it just keeps going in. So I'm hoping that, this Gold Cup will be the purple patch. Stuff start going in for him. Over these 2 games, I've seen stuff that I like with Boza. So I will work with Boza. I'll definitely work with him.
You know what the problem is? I know we're going to ratings. I watched the USA play Canada and I watched the USA play Mexico. And the kids are dynamic. See Musa and Reina and Pulisic, and they're just flying by people. 1-2, get into space, dip shoulders, go right. We have none of that. Like, I'm watching us play, looking at a plodding old side, just a bunch of old men we look like. We have no dynamism in our game. I watched Reina dominate Canada yesterday. They have to kick him down and try to get him out of the field. The kid is just sliding by people. Stop the ball. You can't take it off me. I'm going to go where I want to go. Put in Ballaranin on goal. We have none of that. We have nobody dynamic to run them into the park. That's what's killing us. And until we get some of those players, we have athleticism. The technical ability is missing. So, and that's part of our problem.
The person who we had for that role, the man them running with, and talk about him not good and get too much chance.
Who was that?
McGee.
He can be good, but McGee doesn't run.
It's a fact. Listen, this man come on in a World Cup campaign when Tapper have him on the bench for God knows how long.
Anybody home?
For come tear up Costa Rica. Tear up the USA. They were raving about him. And all because he can't get a starting spot in Belgium. The man them running boy. Go on, yeah, man. Anyway, so who else?
You know what? I wouldn't say. Look, McGee has a lot of deficiencies, but he has a lot of good attributes. He can control the ball and he can pass the ball. But the kid hasn't learned to work off the ball, or even when you have the ball, until he learns to. He goes to the gym, build himself up, and learn to run. If McGee had Phillips's energy, he'd be a dynamic player.
Kronke, in the context of this team, McGee can walk into this team. All right, that is the context.
I can't refute that.
All right, then. But don't talk. Anyway, so
this middle is lacking technical ability.
Who else will operate? The coach?
Who else came on? No one. Richard King.
No, Lembikisi came on.
Lembikisi, Richard King, Brandon Cover.
Yeah, rate them on.
I can't rate Brandon and Richard because I didn't see much. I thought Lembikisi played.
Oh, did you see Richard King at the goal? The second goal?
He was lost. That's why I can't rate him. He's lost.
Yeah, but that
he was confused.
Wasn't that a breakdown that he was basically trying to clean up?
Yes,
but he was poorly positioned before that.
But he didn't glance. Here's the thing, Kyle. When you play in a position, which is what our defense doesn't do, you have to know where you are. They don't glance at all. They just focus on the ball, and they don't look to see where they're positioned. So you have to do a hybrid situation, which is I got to help out my right or left back. We got to be aware of who's behind me or who's coming down, and we don't do that. We only focus on the immediacy of the attack, and we're not cognizant of where we are on the field.
But the problem with that is the right and left back didn't even know where the hell they were.
No, that's not true. No, Dexter was tracking his player in. He brought the player onto his weaker foot. Recall that. He brought the player onto his weaker foot. And then the player made a pass that shocking. It's shocking.
I thought Lembikisi, what I like about Lembikisi, he doesn't get beaten easily. Even when he's playing against skillful players, he's always pushing them where he wants to push. He's been well coached. So he forced you to go a certain place and give himself that comfort and that ability to not get beaten. You rarely see somebody goes by him one-on-one, actually. Which we can't say the same for some of our defenders.
Right.
It's because he's also quick, deceptively quick.
Right.
And he uses the speed of thought to make up for what he doesn't fully have in pace. Lembikisi will grow and continue to grow and will be an asset for Jamaica on this trajectory, just like Whisper will, and a couple other youngsters, right? But sometimes I believe we're a bit premature. We might see a man do a one game, and then people saying that, Manchester United should buy him and sell Wan-Bissaka, and we just lose our collective minds. What I liked about it today, he went to the left back position, right?
Yeah, he did.
When Bell came off.
Yeah.
And I knew Dexter Lembikisa as a left back. That's what I knew him as when I was researching him for the years and things. So it was good to see him playing in his original position. I know this year he played right back in the developmental squad when he moved up into the developmental squad for Wolves. But I expect him to go out on loan next season. Port Vale have tabled an offer for him, other clubs in the Championship and League One, and he will grow into a beast of a defender. God go with him.
Let me just say that when he came on that left, the raids basically stopped, because I saw once when a guy was coming down there, when him see him said, "No, just ease up and just leg of the ball." So he definitely has qualities about him that that people will stop and fear.
On the play,
Javane Brown didn't hurt himself today, so it's a good thing. It's a good problem to have.
He isn't. But I think I want to say with the youngsters, like for me, the youngsters like Whisper and Lembikisa, I think they have, in my book, and I'm not the coach, they have written themselves into the Gold Cup squad 23 comfortably.
Agreed.
And I believe that Trevante Stewart must be in Jamaica trying to pack his suitcase, because I don't think Corey Burke did anything that Trevante didn't do when he got his minutes.
No, Trevante Stewart, I can't judge JPL, but what I see from
against Trinidad,
player.
Yeah, I'm talking when he played 2 games against Trinidad, he didn't score.
No, what I'm saying is that when I see him play, he doesn't look out of place. Even though, right, he's not playing at the highest level, doesn't look out of place. So the question for us is, why is Burke getting more time than he's getting? I've seen enough of Burke. Not Burke. He tries hard, but technically he's just not there. Whisper came on also.
Yeah, Whisper.
What was it great for Whisper in his 5 minutes?
I can't. This in England. There's a thing where they say you can't.
NA.
But I mean, he's on the plane in my squad. He's on the plane in my squad. He's his room in Chicago, and he at this rate he might be on the field.
I would agree with that also. I think the coach likes him actually.
Except that Demarai Gray has gotten his international clearance and passport, doesn't it? Something.
So would you start Gray?
That's like asking.
Some people comes in and don't start right away. They have to blend.
That's like asking, would I start Pele or would I start Maradona?
Why? Yes. Why is this hyper? Why the hyperbole?
Because
Pele.
in our context,
Pele.
In
any context, Pele.
we are starting Kaheem Paris.
He's not our Pele. I'm sorry, he's not our Pele. Sorry, he's not.
So then what? The Kaheem Paris is our what?
Demarai Gray is a great goal. Is a scorer of great goals. Not a great goal scorer. I always remember that.
No, he isn't. But he's a winger. He's not a forward. He's a scorer of great goals.
No. Last week, Saka scores goals. Salah scores goals. Rashford scores goals. They're all wingers. I like the Demarai Gray game. Don't get me wrong. He holds the ball up well. Needs to improve his tracking back. I think the player who we should be pursuing in the next set of great is Dwight McNeil. I've been saying this forever. If he qualifies for Jamaica, we should be pursuing him.
Well, he does qualify for Jamaica. His relatives have represented Jamaica in other sports.
He should be the one we're pursuing. He has a Damari Phillips engine with technical ability. Runs all game, put a cross and a six
Excellent
back and a
crosser
6
of the
point.
ball.
Huh?
Excellent
Brilliant
cross
crosser.
of the ball. He will
Brilliant
hit a,
crosser.
he will hit a
Brilliant crosser.
marble.
Yep. Brilliant crosser. Watch him at
And-
Burnley, watch him at Everton, same thing.
And he's come from the Burnley school, that school that Sean Dice. So they have to defend with their lives.
Yep, and he plays like it.
Counter-attacking and plays like it.
Because he starts up a great for Everton, you know. He starts up a great for Everton.
Yeah, man. But then
Even though he's not playing more midfield than wing, but he starts up
that way, yeah. That's what I'm saying. They brought him back because he has some defensive capability. Now, hit the like button, people. Remember to hit the subscribe button, and you can also contribute to Zelle. If the man them want to make up a thing, let me just tell you that. Boom, bang, 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 bang. Let me give it
Someone's
a Zelle.
saying Gray should play attacking mid for us. I don't think he'll play the 10. I think
Inspiration _o@hotmail.com. Omar Stennett. You can contribute to Zelle. Jappy boss some money, make him can buy a fur coat in Australia.
yeah, he can play if you come back home.
You just anchor him name all day like he's the only one on the pitch. Jarvis Paris. Was he on the pitch?
So who else do we have to bring?
Brandon Cover, not accessible, except he managed to get himself a yellow card, but he kind of showed you what he is.
Marlon's agreed with comments about Dwight McNeil's crossing. I think when you have Antonio and a Bowser in the middle with their height and physicality, you can put the ball on a 6 point.
Yeah, put it on him far end.
Yeah.
And he will do that.
Yeah, he does that well.
He will do that. Reece Nelson will do that as well.
All right. So are we going to rate the coach?
Brandon Cover, what do you think of his small cameo?
Same thing. The guy, come on. There's nothing to really judge him for.
He got a yellow. That's all I can remember.
No, but he's a tenacious. He's a tackler. He's a tiger.
Time, but he didn't do nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong, but
no, so
he didn't have enough time to really show it.
Right, give him the brief time that he was on. So what am I going to give him, a 10 for that? Come on.
No, we said not A, we said NA.
NA, right? NA. I'm just itching to read.
This is the front 1, 2, 3. This is the front 4. Someone is predicting.
Antonio was the Mary Gray Bailey. So you have.
So what do you do with
Bobby
Reid? You're saying bench Bobby Reid? Bobby Reid is starting. That's not happening.
Yeah. Of course he's starting.
So I think Whisper is on the bench.
Boza.
I don't know how they left out Boza.
Bailey and Reid. Bobby Reid have to be in the middle. That's how I would start my.
I think Whisper will be on the bench if Gray starts.
Whisper come on for the bench. Give me at least a good 25.
Looks like he benches Bobby Reid. Are you mad? No coach forgets what have you done for me lately. And Bobby Reid.
I think that goal in Mexico gave Bobby about 3 starts without worrying.
Exactly. Oh, especially when the 2 games following I lose and only penalties. No,
I think Bobby Reid starts.
Bobby Reid is the first name on the coach's book. Probably you would be surprised if Bobby Reid gets the captain's armband. Coaches don't forget like that, except it belongs to Andre Blake. So which brings us to, you want to talk about the coach? Go ahead.
I've been itching to rate the coach. That one, I will give you a score. So in terms...
Yeah, for the coach.
Yeah, but listen, man. In terms of his pronouncement that the game really doesn't mean anything, he's more interested in seeing how people play and formations or whatever, patterns. I don't even know what the hell that means. I would have to give him a 4 because the formation, the patterns, and how the people play was all disappointing. All disappointing. If I'm to rate him on wins, I would have to give him a 0 because we didn't win anything. So, to assess what we saw, basically, we are left left guessing. All of us as panelists, all of us as fans. So for the coach, you know, you're moving at 3.54, the max. And this is how we're going into the Gold Cup. Over to you guys.
Katarock?
Kronke?
I'm gonna say incomplete. I can't grade the coach. I don't know what to grade. I'm gonna put incomplete. I can't give him a grade. I don't know what I'm grading.
Guess
what am I grading against? I have no idea what to grade.
Like I said, guess.
So first of all, the coach has Marion Gordon as his assistant. I'm just looking at all the albatrosses around his neck. Then he has the JFF as another albatross around his neck. What, you know, we were told they were going to have 30 players in Austria. He finds himself in the first game with 17 players. And a couple more joined, you know, in time for the second game. We have brought them on foot. Catch me and
I
go.
tried to help him yesterday, but he didn't want to help. I did ask him in the press conference. I did say to him, given the fact that we have all these players, we can never get a set group of players for any window. You know how difficult is sort of that. He sort of suggests that it wasn't a problem. And so if it's not a problem, then you're gonna get what you're getting, which is not positive outcome.
Right. But not only that, Kronke, he's going to get a lot of blame. Because if you are going to be quiet, well, when you know behind the scenes that you're not getting the support that the JFs are supposed to be giving you, or the players supposed to be giving you, then, you know, heavy is the head who wears the crown. People are going to chop it off.
Yeah, I think coaching is overrated in international football. You don't get to coach. I think you can manage, and I haven't seen him manage, so I have no idea what I'm looking at.
All right, so if he's going to be quiet about it, I'm have to deal with the consequences. You know, I heard the Canadian coach. Yeah, good point. He made a comment, you know, after when they lost. You know, he said Canadian Soccer Federation have to be serious about football if they want us to win a World Cup or trophies. He said we need practice matches in order to prepare us so we can succeed. Okay. He wasn't quiet about it.
Well, we're getting practice matches. We just don't have the players. We're getting practice matches. The players are not available.
The point is, whatever the problem is that's going on behind the scene, you cannot be quiet about it and expect supporters to come out and support you. Because believe me, if you come out and you tell us what's wrong, we will come out and support you. But if you're going to be quiet about it, then heavy is the head who wears the crown. It all goes on top of your head. You know, I mean, that's just a fact.
All the talk about lopping off heads gets me uneasy. Because that really happens in Jamaica, you know. Here we go on. Coach Al Grimson, as the top man in the Ultras, top boy, you know what I mean? Giving a little bit more rope. Let's see you at the Gold Cup. You said this is your preparation. You're cool with this. I'll see how it goes. But I win me want to deal with winning the Gold Cup.
So Kyle's comment here. No, Kyle, we're not saying he's not getting players, but does he have the quality that he needs to enable him to be successful? And if he has a system and a style of play and processes, how can he effectively implement those if he doesn't have all the tools that he needs to work with, which is the players? You can't have half the players out on vacation and half the players in Austria and going to the Gold Cup and you're going to try to blend the two. How does that work?
So whose fault is that?
I have no idea whose fault it is.
You know whose fault that is.
Because no, I don't think it's anyone's fault. I said that yesterday. I said that today, which is I think the JFF, and I said this a number of times, the coach of JFF and the players need to work out something where at some point during the year, 2 or 3 times, he has his full contingent of players. He never, the coach, Tapa didn't, this coach didn't. That's the norm. Now, we understand our players are distributed across the globe, but Argentina does it, Brazil does it, and their players are distributed across the globe. We have to find a way to make sure, one is people respect the national team, they're committed to the national team, they want to be with the national team, they're given the chance to play for the national team, they're not given, because now you're not going to champion the national team, because if I have to go on vacation, I have to go on vacation. I've played all season. Create an environment where it works in all respects and the conditions are ideal for the players to want to come together all at the same time and work with the coaches. Very difficult for international coaches because they can't coach, they can only manage. They're going to give you certain instructions. They don't have enough time to work with individual players or work with the team, except exercise and make sure they're loose and all that, and try to deploy some kind of strategy to help them. They don't have the time to do everything. So at least they want to be together and build a camaraderie and work out some style of play and program in a short window. But right now he doesn't have that.
Kronke,
He's going to next Saturday's game and half his players are not in
Kronke, look, you basically what you just explained to me is a laissez affair. You know, it's a go, come as you go approach. You know, let's just go with the flow approach. No. Kronke, you gotta let me talk.
Listen to me then.
Kronke, I listen to you talk. Let me finish. Then you can rebut me. The coach need to come out either publicly or privately and say, listen, if you're not coming to training or practice matches, you will not be considered for any tournament. That's a line right there. Okay, he needs to draw a line. Number one, because as he has said, if the results are not forthcoming, everything is going to come on his head. And that's what people are looking at. Now, as it pertains to the GFF, whatever shenanigans is going on in the background, he needs to talk to them privately or publicly, like the Canadian coach did, and say, listen, things have to change if you want to get serious about Jamaican football and where we are going. Because how you want me to operate, and he has hinted this more than once, it's not professional and conducive to getting results. Now, he, as a coach or a manager, as you call him, has to put down his foot as to what he wants implemented. All right? Heavy is the head who wears the crown. He has to deal with that backlash. And I was critical of Tapa back in the past for making the same mistakes when he was given a haphazard team or players coming into the middle of his team and all that kind of stuff. And he was quiet about it until they sacked him. No, I'm sorry, but that is my stance. That is my stance. This coach have to talk up and have to be more firm in his approach. So listen
no,
to
the
so
point I was making is that
not to rest.
The point is that because of logistics or other challenges, it's hard to get the players in every window simultaneously be at the same place. But you can have 3. If you have 5 windows, say 3 windows are not debatable, 3 windows are mandatory. You have to be here for these 3 windows, and we work that out and we agree upon that. The other 2 windows may be flexible. Right? We play some practice game. I want to use the other players. But 3 windows are mandatory. You have to be there. And there's a timeline where you're going to be there. We don't have that. So every window we're trying to get all the players. Like for this window, Bailey, Antonio, Pinnock, Gray, Bobby Reed. That's at least 5. You take Gray out the mix. Say 4, because Gray situation just worked itself out. At least 4 players we think are sure starters are not in Austria, right? Blake played 1 game, but didn't play the other game. So that's like 6 of the players would have been available for both games. And DJ came late, so he played a small amount of that game. And you can see the differentiation in quality when DJ is playing versus the other players. So if you're going to have 60% of your team is not there or not available for both games, it will reflect in how you play because you don't have the volume of quality you need to interchange players. You just don't.
So what I'll say about this is I am sick and tired of feeling like somebody attacked me for a yamid. And I'm not holding the coach responsible. I am not holding the coach responsible. But the person with the information needs to tell the Jamaican footballing public the truth. We cannot have drama overshadowing the team all the time. What is the true status regarding Ronaldo CFS? Was he contacted? Was he invited? All right, let me go a different way. Did we send a release for Ronaldo CFS to his club? Did the player turn that down and say he could not get a Schengen visa? Because in other places, different things have been reported that the player said he would have moved mountains and his management team to get the Schengen visa. Kamar Lawrence, he have a hamstring injury or he have a Schengen visa?
That's just better.
If we go into the World Cup with our full squad, with our two center halves would be different. Our forward line would be completely different, right? So the only position I think we have worries on is in our midfield, which has been for years and hasn't changed one bit. Now, Lati may add some technical ability, and he does play box to box, so he may be a part of the solution. But your soul, your heart, which is your midfield, where your belly there, where your stomach is, very challenging there.
Hold on, sure improvement. You said I'm still talking about CFS. You're here is the USA visa. You don't need a USA visa to play in Austria.
No, I think he's confusing playing World Cup versus playing in the recent friendly game.
I know you're a lady, but I'm an equal opportunity beater when it comes to the belt buckle.
So you Republic have a question here about West Harding.
No, well, at least he was in the roster.
He's in the 50 man, right?
He's in the 50 man. Yeah. Right?
But I'm saying if Lowe is fit, so Lowe and Pinnock would start in the center half, would have Gray, Bailey, and Antonio starting up front. That's 5 of the 7, right? 5 players who were almost sure starters. Blake didn't really play except the one game today. So it's a big difference. And Bailey didn't play either. Right? So it's a big difference between having an entire different forward line, 2 center halves who are totally different. It's a big difference.
So
you still need a box to box and a CDM.
So hold on.
One minute, guy. Jura, aka Drew Fortis, Brandon Cover, and is not going to the Gold Cup. He's not in the 50-man roster. So tell me why he's there and not CFS is there. They are double standards. So I don't talk out of both sides of my mouth. And sure improvement, I asked the question in that press conference about Ronaldo CFS, and we were told he doesn't have a Schengen visa. So when the mother want a body come move like me, I yam it and stick the broken in my ears. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Kronke, so basically what you're saying is what 7 or 9 people coming in as starters, right?
We have about 6 or 7.
Right. 6 or 7 people coming in as starters.
We have Bailey, Antonio, Pinnock, Gray, and Bobby Reed. That's 5 definitive people coming in as starters who didn't play in Austria at all.
All right. So I'll just say 6, because God knows who else. But
actually 6, so Lowe is not in that mix actually. So if you add Lowe, if he recovers, it's 6. Yeah.
All right, 6. So we have 6 people coming in as starters. And we're going to play a well-oiled USA machine. Well-oiled USA machine.
So let us Stan Kronke, you have the pen. Can we start? Let us the 3 kings, Kyle, Kronke, Katarock. Can we put together a 23-man squad now that we've come to the end of the day on the 19th? Let us see if we can agree.
We did that yesterday. You weren't here.
I wasn't here? Tell me the 23-man squad. Let me tell you who. I don't know how you name it before this game, because you might have had some people in there who you might want to.
Well, should we just wait until that come out that we can revisit?
No.
Isn't that supposed to be out now? Isn't that out now?
The squad's supposed to be out now too, right? Exactly. People in the chat column. Do we have a squad out yet?
When is the squad being published? I thought it was being published right after the.
Dwight, hold on. Dwight, wait, Dwight. Let me post it for you. Spencer Imwa, come on, finally. From when me I tell the man for coming.
Bridget, me I tell the man. Bridget, Kyle.
Yeah.
You cannot use that language when you're sitting with the ultras. Spence want to forward. Look how long me I tell the man to forward.
Okay. My apologies.
Okay, accepted.
I've been in America too long. There it is. All right, Spence. There it is. The USA
so my
game
question
is a wash.
Do you I expect some surprises in the squad. I know I would not have Corey Burke in my squad based on performances. And I think Travati Stewart would have a case to make to be
that is the least. That's the least of our problems.
We do have problems.
Look in the defense. Mariappa should not be starting, should not be nowhere on the bench. You know, if I'm starting any game, believe me, just hope for a draw.
Dwight Spence, where are you?
Because it's an open secret, you know. Come down the wing where Mariappa is on. Come down the wing where Mariappa is on. It's done.
Sure improvement.
Yeah, Spence.
Yes, Brandon Cover was Spence has forwarded. Brandon Cover is in the CSC roster. He was named in the CSC roster. Let's jump straight to you, Mr. Spence. Are you driving and on your phone?
No. I would try to stay within the laws of the municipality that I'm in. So
can you fix the phone? Because we're just looking under your chin.
Okay, here it is. Can you see me now?
I don't want to see you. The ladies are here.
Oh, okay. My all right. There you go. So, the squad hasn't been named. I don't expect a full squad. Okay, we know the JFF. When they say, "Oh, the squad will come," expect 30% error, meaning something going to happen. Somebody drop something. All right. I will stick to this. To me, the first USA game is a wash. We need to keep that game respectable. Less than 4 games. Less than four games long. The key is to build off the training sessions leading to the US match and the 2 Caribbean teams to make sure we get 6 to 9 quality training sessions and opportunities to correct our mistakes. The group stage is going to be ugly football. Ugly. Lack of cohesion. You see how we were saying Burke make a run, that Phillips don't know, that DJ don't know. Expect that for the next week and a half. The objective, though, is survive and advance and get to the quarterfinals and try to meet. Our biggest game is possibly against Canada in the quarterfinals. That same Canadian team that look like them a ski guy like Gretzky two different sides. Fonzo Davis and David and them baller there. That is going to be the true litmus test. Hull Grimson let's temper our expectation right now. When the US give us a licking, a beating, please do not come and say, chop off Hull Grimson head, him not ready. He hasn't had enough training sessions with a team. So we can sit back and evaluate. Now, we have no business not picking up 3 points against French Guyana or Trinidad. if Hal Grimson doesn't do that,
so you're just simply assuming that French Guiana is going to walk over St. Kitts.
Guys, if this press conference is gonna start now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Simon sent out the link and said it's going to start in a minute.
Where did he send it to?
He sent it on the WhatsApp chat.
Okay.
I'm pointing out again that I'm accredited member of the media, and I have not received the link.
Well, I think all valid credited members have received the link. So if you haven't, there's a
and
message.
I'm going to say something again, because if not, I'm going to not be quiet, because I see some man who have no platform. I'm the local correspondent for Dre and Weather Sports. The breaking news, boss.
So, Katarock,
I'm gonna run, guys.
All right, cool. Do I?
Yes, sir.
So what blame, if any, should the coach get for all of this madness? Tell me. Should he speak out on what's going on?
No. From a professional standpoint, no, he should not. He should sit down with the JFF president, general secretary, and have that one-to-one conversation. The bigger issue is, and we're going to see it, why have a camp in Austria, then fly over 3 days before? Because our players against the U.S. are going to be fast asleep due to the jet lag.
Yeah.
Fast asleep. It's just, Kyle, you have traveled to Europe and back. It takes you 2 or 3 days to recover, much less play football. So our players, to save face against the U.S., he wants to use any JPL players, any USSL players, and MLS players that were in North America. The other one, to me, it was pointless to fly Andre Blake all the way to Europe, pay however minutes he played, and then fly him all the way back to Chicago. We have enough depth in our goalkeeping department where that wasn't needed. Totally unnecessary. So I don't expect a good U.S. game. And also I don't think we should throw all our manpower, all our energy into trying to get 3 points out of the U.S. game, because we need to be able to manage and survive the last 2 group games, and the quarterfinals is going to be a dogfight. The quarterfinal match is where Hal Grimson is going to keep his contract or not. Period. Because if Hal Grimson get beat and it looks ugly in that quarterfinal match, he might as well take a flight directly from the States to Iceland and not come back, because it's not going to be pretty. So
Dwight, in that breath, why shouldn't he speak out? The Canadian coach speak out against the Canadian Soccer Federation.
Jamaicans are not Canadians. We don't operate like that. You don't want to do that.
That is the problem.
No. I'm not trying to say from a professionalism. You have to read the room and understand the temperament of the Jamaican public, of the JFF. The JFF just are catching a beating right now from how they're dealing with the reggae girls. For the reggae boys coach to pour it on, it does no good. Because this is what's going to happen. Certain people within the JFF hierarchy are going to throw the Icelandic coaches under the bus. These guys are experts at that.
That's true. No accountability.
Exactly. Now, I bring you to this, okay? Hal Grimson has gone 8 games without a victory, and some ugly losses and some poor matches. Now we see, look at the tone and look at the difference in how Paul Hall and Tapa were treated, and let's hold Hal Grimson to the same standard. Because the level of disrespect that Coach Whitmore experiences when this style of thing happens, the level of disrespect and am I idiot side of thing that Paul Hall experienced, let's hold Hal Grimson to the same thing.
But Dwight, that's why I keep saying, because I knew what Tapa was going to on Paul Hall,
Yeah.
All that silence that he was just holding things in and just taking a beating. I don't believe it's wise for Coach Hal Grimson to go along that path. I mean, if things need to be said, they need to be said. And he can come out publicly and say things in a diplomatic way, to put pressure on the JFF. Because, you and I looking from the outside without any knowledge know that something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can't keep suffering in silence and think that things are going to change. Somebody have to start speaking out directly. I like when the Canadian coach come out and say, listen, the federation need to get serious if they want us to qualify for World Cups. Something like that needs to be said.
So the Canadian coach is in a different position. Number one, he qualified for the last World Cup. Number two, they already have a spot and they're probably sitting on $10 million anyway.
Spence, hold on. Let me cut you right here. Not only did he say that, he said we had to do fundraising in order to support our campaign. So some things he was keeping under the rug.
Hold on. The Canadian coach said they need to do fundraising?
I will forward you that link.
Wow.
In fact, hold on. Let me see if I have it right here. Oh my God, let me see it.
So what that tells me, somebody in the Canadian Soccer Federation, some money has slipped somewhere. Some money has slipped on slide somewhere. Because there's no way you can be hosting a World Cup in 4 years and you're talking about fundraising. That's madness.
I'm gonna see if I can post it.
So Kyle, I will say this.
Go on.
The Jamaican standpoint is how Grimson is going to need. So he will learn something from this Gold Cup not to trust the JFF in terms of putting the squads together. Okay?
Right.
Our managed man is going to come back and trust me because he's been exposed to it, because he's traveling from Jamaica to Austria to the US. Managed man is going to understand the visa and travel and logistical nightmare that the JFF functions with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
The JFF I know it because I traveled as a professional and I understand the travel, going through Europe, getting a Schengen visa, getting your UK visa, coming to the States. All these things need to be taken care of 6 to 8 weeks before. If a player doesn't have these 6 weeks before, just say, listen, you might as well just beat us in the States and move on. What the JFF is doing is creating false expectations. This thing, Michael Antonio, Bailey, Bobby Reed, listen, I don't care about if all these great players, and I like those players, we need a 23-man team. These guys that we're looking for moments of brilliance and ball done the place, we can't string 5 passes together and build up to a nice smooth goal because we don't train together. Our guys are not miracle workers. They're talented, but they're not magicians. And they remember what I said in the last one. It's going to take Jamaica 10 training sessions before we start seeing some smoothness and cohesion. And I'm sticking to it. It's called preparation.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle, name one Jamaican team, individual sport, any sport that has won anything without preparation. Name one.
It's impossible. It's never.
No, it doesn't. Our netballers win. Preparation. Usain Bolt win. Preparation. Shelly Ann win. Preparation. 98 World Cup. Preparation. The U17s make the World Cup. Preparation. U20s make the World Cup. Preparation. We're not miracle workers. When you prepare a Jamaican side, give them good things to build good cohesion and teamwork, the Jamaican spirit and the Jamaican DNA and the Jamaican fight will get results. But you give them no preparation, they must feel it just like they must feel it CXC.
Yeah, it's preparing to fail, man. That seems to be our DNA.
No, but this is the thing, Carl. We need, as you remember last week when Katarock said me I hate Jamaica and me no love Jamaica. No, what I'm trying to do is temper the fans' expectations to say we can see that the team has only had 4 training sessions and are going to travel to the US 3 days before the Gold Cup, and we expect a result against the US? Come on, stop that.
Believe me, my eyes have been opened. I was one of them that was hoping that we would be well-oiled and ready for this tournament. But boy, after watching this, I just calmed down myself and get ready for the beating.
No, but this is the thing, Carl. The Gold Cup is not the big prize. It is not our main objective. We need to learn from this So come nation leagues and World Cup qualifiers, we don't have this foolishness going on. To me, the Gold Cup is a dry practice run for Hull Grimson to learn CONCACAF. Because this whole time, we have a side big enough to win the Gold Cup. You're mad? If we had a side winning enough to go Gold Cup, Vegas would have different odds on who's going to win the Gold Cup right now. You think Vegas stupid?
Hold on, Spence. My thing is, this is a dry run for Hagronson to figure out how the JFF truly runs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. No, he has a true picture of what he has to deal with in terms of the organizational skills of the JFF. You know, which is lacking.
And the good thing that he has, he's bringing in an attitude that he's going into an environment that has problems, and he needs problem solvers, not people who are going to come. That is the one thing I will give to him. His approach to it, he knows he's going into a problem area that needs solution.
Well, what I will say though is that this Gold Cup will basically test his mettle.
Yeah.
You know, this will basically be a project where he'll say, do I want to continue with this? Because everything, you know, that we see and probably more than we know has been brought to him.
I will give Hull Grimson another thing that he needs to do. He spent a good amount of time in Jamaica. He watched the JPL. He saw the league. He was there at a lot of games. He was at Arnett. He was at Mount Pleasant. He was at Cavalier. So he knows the JPL.
Mm-hmm. And he's speaking Jamaican right now.
Right. No, because that's the first exposure to English. That's the first English-speaking country he's lived in. So a Jamaican English you're gonna talk.
Right.
The first thing he needs to do, I will not name names, but he needs to add or remove and make sure certain coaches that are on his staff that are Jamaican, they need to have coached, played, and have professional experience outside of Jamaica. I will make it even further than that. You cannot take a DaCosta Cup coach and have him with the senior national team. It's a recipe for failure. If he wants to sit in the room doing the technical report review when we come back for the Gold Cup, absolutely. Him and another 5 or 6 coaches that you want to groom, yes, they do not need to be part of the staff. You need Jamaicans who are former professionals, who have coached overseas, who have done this with an acumen for the game at that level to do that.
I agree. And this notion that we don't have them out there, it needs to be debunked. We have them all over, from the USA, Canada, to Europe. There are Jamaicans out there who have the rest.
How many Jamaican coaches would take an opportunity right now? No salary. They are in the summer break of their seasons, wherever in the world, and say, yes, I will go along. No salary needed. Just pick up my hotel and my flights, and I will coach the Gold Cup, and I will build it, because it's both a resume builder. And why is it so hard for us to find former reggae boys who are building their coaching credentials to have them come along with the Gold Cup team?
My theory on that is simple. The JFF operates in a colonial mentality where they don't like to be questioned. All they like to do is give directives. And if you do question them, then you're being rude, you're being arrogant, you're being disrespectful. Until that culture change, my God, we will suffer.
Kyle, you know what the attitude is? It's just like when me and you go back to Jamaica. You left here a long time. You're a foreigner now.
Right. Exactly.
Jamaica, right? There is no... Hold on. What a big man name that coach our sprinters? What his name again?
Who that? Mills and
No, not Mills. The big man. Frano.
Right.
You think Frano became a great sprint coach just sitting in Jamaica? Frano spent some time at the University of Michigan getting his master's in kinesiology.
Exactly. And that
exposure.
Go on.
That exposure is key. That exposure.
That's what I don't understand with them. You know, they're willing to take you from overseas if you're willing to come in and be a part of the their culture. But if you're overseas, and you want to show them something differently, then there's an issue. And that is to say that when Frano came back overseas, he didn't want to be a part of the culture. He wanted to change the culture. And you see the fight that he got.
Exactly. But you give a strong man a project like that. But this is what I will say, right? When in terms of the JFF and the national team, I see how Grimson doing certain things to bring change. Our man, Manning's man, and Simon Preston are not included for that. That's a good change,
It
And
is.
Dennis Chung makes subtle changes that he realizes. He says he knows there's talent in Jamaica. He says, well, let's see how we can have you come on board.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
Now, one of the things that will save us at this Gold Cup is all the travel and the flight arrangements are being done by CONCACAF. So meaning the JFF are not booking the flights. They don't book the hotels. They don't book the buses. That's all being handled by CONCACAF. So that part should run smoother.
Right.
But when you see the squad, don't be. In my opinion, I don't expect Antonio there. I don't expect Bailey there on time. I expect Bobby Reed to maybe be there for 2 matches. I expect a little bit of mix and matching and different things going on during the group stages. Now, when the about 3-4 days before the quarterfinals, we should have a settled group of who's going to be there. We shouldn't have nobody talking about the need to go to England and work out personal terms or contract. None of that. Right? Which is why Hal Grimson made a good move, not including Ravel. I like Ravel, but Ravel has a club situation. He has a situation that he needs to resolve.
I like him too, man.
Yeah, I like it. But the other thing, a player like McGee not ready for this level of football. He's just not rounded enough. He's just.
I just leave that McGee thing alone. I won't touch you on that one. But he's my baller, man. I like him. I really do.
Yeah.
You know, my old thing though is, I just don't want what happened to the previous coaches happen to Hal Grimson. I just believe that he needs to start speaking up and drop hints. Because the GFF is going to throw him under the bus.
Well, I think the way he can say it without going directly to the JFF is he can just diplomatic say in press conferences, things must change for things to improve.
Thank you.
That's all he doesn't say any names.
Right.
Doesn't need to say anybody. He just needs to say things must change for things to improve.
Right. I would love that statement and let people read into it as they may.
Because what if you study Icelandic culture and things like that, they are very direct people in terms of the cultural fit to Jamaica. They're very direct. They don't sweeten up their words. They're going to tell you what it is. Right. And that's what. And the JFF as a whole, because they're not flobbing only the reggae boys, they're doing an utter mess with the reggae girls.
And if I start on that one, trust me, I will explode. Let me just tell you something.
Yeah.
You see how the JFF have the wisdom to get the media department for the boys in terms of Manning's man and Simon, two of our best. Why they can't do the same thing for the girls? They have Crystal over there in England, who would be an asset to them.
Yes.
Simple thing like that. That don't cost no money, That don't cost no money, because I'm pretty sure that Crystal will just love to do it just for boost of her little ratings on our YouTube channel.
You see that?
Simple thing that, the girls more than anybody deserve a media arm to connect to the fans. And that's one thing I give Mr. Chung credit for. At least he saw the necessity in basically having a media arm to connect to the fans on the vloggers atmosphere. You know?
Kyle, you know what the truth is?
Crazy.
Our most marketable arm, our most marketable team out of all our teams are our reggae girls.
Yes.
In my opinion, we wouldn't have that Adidas contract without the reggae girls.
You know, I was talking to somebody about the girls, you know, their preparation for the Women's World Cup. I said, all the JFF had to say now was say, you know what, Mrs. Marley, you control everything, just give us a percentage. That is it.
They don't want to, they don't know how to do that.
I know that. But my God, you would rather have something coming in than nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? Penny wise, pound foolish. And that seems to be their motto. It's all about ego and control. Give Sidella the reggae boys. Give Sidella the reggae girls. So Sidella, you run it. All we want is a percentage. Do what you want with it. Leave it alone. I am pretty sure that we would have gotten practice games. I'm pretty sure that we would have had more money coming in.
No, I would have put her and her team in charge of the marketing side, not the operation side.
Well, however they want to fix it. Put it like that.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I know that the money would be coming in.
Because me and you look at this. Why are the reggae girls not paying 2 friendlies against whoever in South Florida?
Did you read Spence's statement this morning in the Gleaner?
No, I didn't catch it.
Let me see if I can get it for you. Yeah. Let me see if I can get it quick.
Oh, you mean Rebecca Spence, the keeper?
Right.
Not Rebecca, not Spencer. The midfielder.
Spencer. Quote unquote. Listen to this. We would have hoped to have more fixtures leading into the World Cup. It's disappointing that we weren't able to get over this line. As players, we deserve to have a little fixture and things sorted out for us. Which hadn't been done. You know what I mean? Come on.
Kyle, how hard would it have been to get a game against a put-together Haitian team in Orlando, Miami, or Fort Lauderdale and the stadium near around?
Easy. Nothing to it.
You pay our CAC men's team in one game. You pay our women's in a doubleheader. Stadium ram.
I don't understand it. You are going to be on $1 billion market in terms of viewership, in terms of the Women's World Cup, and you don't know how to market this entity to get money from it. I'm talking about the GFF.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just doesn't make sense from an advertising point of view. You have $1 billion product that you can market all over the world. Not only market Jamaican female footballing, but Jamaica itself, Jamaican culture, Jamaican music, Jamaican
fashion, Jamaican creativity. The whole 9 yards. Yeah.
Right. And you don't have a clue how to market it? Oh man, this is crazy.
Kyle, let me try to tell you something. That reggae girls team have about, I want to say about 75% of them are university grads. I mean, don't talk about pian major. They major things heavy, law, business, and everything. These girls, these ladies alone could figure it out and do it themselves.
Easy. Exactly.
Hold on. One thing I like about the ladies, you notice how united they are. You notice when they made that post, everybody made the post. Whether they were from UK, whether they were from Europe, whether they were from Canada, whether they were from Jamaica. Boom, they walk in step.
I told somebody now that the GFF is waiting for a lawsuit because you saw how the USF Soccer Federation was sued by the ladies.
Yeah.
Okay. Do not play with the women. I am telling you that. Do not. Those are people that you do not want to play with.
Kyle,
they will figure it out.
Kyle, I'll agree with you, and I'll tell you how the ladies are going to do it. In my opinion, they're going to walk into the JFF office with Babsy walking in the front. No, you're going to
something is brewing, bro.
Exactly. Trust
something
me.
Is brewing.
Trust me. If
Some
the reggae girls walk in there with bops in at the front, Lord God.
All right, squad list. Squad list. Everybody ready for the squad list?
All right. Hey, let me have to run, but what drop the squad list and me I follow along.
All right. Let me drop it because
All right.
if everybody jumped off, so I guess it's me alone here.
All right then. Respect my boss.
Yeah, I'm
All
not
right.
even sure if I'm online. Can anybody drop a comment so I can check if I'm online? I don't know. Travis, Baller, anybody drop a comment. I want to see if I'm online. I'm about to drop the squad list. Anyway, we have Corey Burke, Dijon Whisper, Damari Gray, Leon Bailey, Shamar Nicholson, Michael Antonio, Bobby Reed, Daniel Johnson, Kaim Paris, Joel Latiber, Jonathan Russell, Kevin Lambert. Then we have Kemar Taxilaris, Lawrence, Javian Brown, Adrian Mariapa, Dexter Lembikisa, Damian Lowe, Deshaun Bernard, Ethan Pinnock, Amari Bell. Goalkeepers Andre Blake, Jamali Waite, and Kanai Boyce Clark. So that's your squad, people. That's your squad. I'll go over it again. Let me, you know what? Could I post it up? No, I can't. Anyway, yeah, Michael Antonio, Shamar Nicholson, Leon Bailey, Corey Burke, Dijon Richards, Damari Gray, Bobby Reed, Daniel Johnson, Kaheem Paris, Joel Latiber, Jonathan Russell, Kevin Lambert, Javon Brown, Kemal Lawrence, Damian Lowe, Dexter Lembikisa, Adrian Mariapa, Amari Bell, Ethan Pinnock, Deshaun Bernard, and goalkeepers Andrew Blake, Jamali Waite, and Kanai Boyce Clark. So that's your squad, people. I'm signing out. You know, let's hope we have a good tournament, like Spence said, and everybody else is saying. Temper your expectations. Given the build-up, how late the squad is called in, let's just hope that that we can build on from there. And Miguel, sorry, I'm not taking no calls. I don't know how to take calls. I'm just filling in. Let's just keep the faith. Black, gold, and green. Jamaica, win, lose, or draw. Jamaica. And everybody have a, hold on, somebody else put out, and have a good day, everybody. Thank you for checking in. Press the like button.